Game over.
And what is up? Welcome back. It is Friday night, and you are here with the Average Boys Podcast. It's your boy Crispy, and I am here with my co-host, the trusted host with the most, Brian D. What is up, my dude?
What is up, Chris, man? Dude, I mean, you know what? Normally I'll come on here and I'll tell you exactly how my week was going, but I just want to start off by asking you a question.
Shoot, man.
How does it feel knowing that I'm just always right about shit? Like, how does it does that upset you at all? Does it like cut you a little bit when like we'll discuss and debate something for so long and we'll go at it like for like an hour, and then it just turns out that I'm right.
And then later on, I just have to say, well, I mean, but you're always right, though, Brian. I mean, the whole conversation I had debating you didn't even matter because you were just right anyways.
But I love it. I love the fact that you are just so strong in your convictions and you are sticking to your guns, and you know what? I love your vision. I love the vision that you have for the things that we talk about, and how you want these things to eventually happen. And but now I just wanted to come in and start off by fucking with you just a little bit.
Yeah. But at the same time, the reason why I do that is because I always want what's best for you all. I always want what's best for everyone out there.
Listen,
and it's like I said, dude. Like a lot of the shit that I argue about is this idea that's like when someone takes something that is so pure and so perfect,
and secret,
and it's sacred, and then they're like, but you know what? I want to throw a little bit of my flavor on it. And I'm like, it doesn't need your flavor. It's already got enough flavor.
It's got enough season on it already.
Yeah,
stop.
Move back, man.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it's been a wild week. I'm still getting a bit of stomach problems, but that I think is just age catching up with me. I'm getting old, and that's just what it is, and it's okay because I'm happy. Yeah. How about you?
You know what? I can't complain. I do think that our comments is still down a little bit because I don't see anything. Yeah, I'm looking right now. Rob, Edgar, what's going on, guys? Okay. Honestly, I'm fine. Like it's been a relatively easy week. My job has been slow, which I love. I still get paid the same for the hours. So I really can't complain. I'm glad that it's the weekend. I get to relax. I get to talk some nerd shit with you. And then also tomorrow I'll be on my other podcast with D Vargas, my boy D Vargas from DNC Digital, on the Gym Class Majors podcast, where we talk about all the entertainment weekly shit that everyone's talking about, and all the salacious and gossipy shit. Good. So yeah.
So what's up? I'm gonna jump into the comment section in the video. Of course, guys, it comes in a little bit lagging. Gives us about, I think it's like 10, 15 seconds for a comment to pop through.
I don't know, because there's already been comments and I don't see them. Well, I can't see them.
So what's up, Rob? What's up, Beals, man? It's good to see you, boys. I hope your guys' week was good. Everybody that's out there watching, thank you guys for jumping on the show. The week's been kind of slow, but we do got some information that we could talk about, of course. I think that the most craziest thing is probably what everyone is talking about, of course.
And what's that?
The Johnny Depp Amber Heard case. I think it's still going on. Dude, okay. So
you're gonna have to fill me in because I've taken a little bit of a leave of absence from this. It's all too much. It's too much. So you're
literally, it's just a circus, man. Like the things that you would not expect to happen have happened in this case. I mean, first there's a petition going around for people that are petitioning against going to watch Aquaman 2. Of course, we all know why, because they continue to use Amber Heard as the actress, and they should have let her go in retaliation to the situation that happened with Johnny Depp.
And just so you know, on a movie side of things, I did hear that they did some immense cuts to that movie.
Yeah, she's apparently only in 10 minutes of the film.
Less than 10 minutes in the movie.
Hey, it is what it is, man. They got to do what they got to do to keep up with the times. I mean, I think it's probably a lot cheaper to do it that way than to try to cut her out of the entire film.
Yeah,
because I mean, it's not like they're not going to have to do the same thing with Ezra Miller. I mean, Ezra Miller's in the same boat, and that movie's still 100% going through.
Oh yeah, it'll be.
But it's so wild because I just don't know what they're going to do with the guy, man. Because okay, so on a sidetrack, right? On a sidetrack to the Amber Heard situation. Ezra Miller got called out by one of his exes that he was abusive towards her also. Now we saw that, and we have a personal group chat that the Average Boys with Robert, my boy Robert in the comments, fills us in with crazy stuff that happens on the week. And we keep up with each other, and you know, we do our bro checks and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Straight up, a female came out, someone that had been close to Ezra Miller, and called him out and said he was abusive. Now, on the whim and with the situation that's going on and the way that he acts, my brain, of course, automatically gravitates towards the idea that this guy probably would be abusive.
So I remember that when I think it was last week, I proposed a question. I said, is there something to the fact that he only has these incidents with women? Because and this is before this came out about his ex-girlfriend saying he's abusive. It just seems like a pattern. It seems like a pattern that he is always having situations with females, and I don't know what to make of it. You don't hear about him going up to some dude at a bar and punching him in the face.
Yeah, I don't
like that. It's about him. Correct. It's about him strangling a woman, creeping into someone's bedroom with a woman,
and he was
throwing a chair at a woman. Yeah, it's just all weird. And there is listen, I'm not gonna try to psychoanalysis this guy. Like he would be way too much for me.
Well,
but
even in the police report, I don't know if you got to see that when he broke into those people's house, he had told that man in the hostel, like, dude, if you don't do what I tell you, I'll kill you and that fucking whore wife or whatever. Like, he was very I mean, this is coming from the Bamboozle Goose or whatever he called himself. What was it?
I mean, I don't know. He should have been calling himself fucking Barry. Yo, do you understand that you're through? I get it. I don't know. It's so weird because it's like you can't ask someone that's going through a mental breakdown, does he understand the consequences of what he's doing? Because obviously it's got to be a no, right? Like he doesn't understand. But at the same time, bro, like just stop. Like you don't have to. You don't have to do so much. You're somewhere where you're supposed to be getting help, where you're supposed to be out of. You're literally on this island in Hawaii to stay out of the news.
And now it's just him versus all of Hawaii, dude. Like,
yeah, and you're in the news every week for not just some shit that can be brushed off. Like, this is assault. Like, you're going to jail over this shit. Like, you have to stop. Like at this point, he needs to be committed. I think I said that like last week. Like he was given $500 bail.
Yeah,
no, he needs to be evaluated by a professional and kept secluded, if not by his own accord, then sign a paper and keep him somewhere.
Like whatever fucking happened to house arrest. Like this guy needs house arrest. This guy needs something. Yeah. Like I mean, I'm not a professional when it comes to any type of, mental psychological shit. So I can't really give this guy a talking. But in the aspect of it is, this person needs help because all of these outlashes and all of these attempts are not in a sense of him trying to get attention. This guy is literally going through some shit that he is lashing out, and it's almost like at a specific type of person, which is a female. And I mean, it's heinous. And this guy's a menace right now, and he needs to be slowed the fuck down. That's just what it is, man. That's my favorite word of the week, menace, man, because that shit is all over the place, dude. But
unfortunate, man.
Tracking back, everything this week for me has been hearing about the Johnny Depp Amber Heard case, and if it's not hearsay objection from the fucking Amber Heard's lawyer, it's Johnny Depp really just now he's just chilling through this. He's casually walking through this because this is an easy win for him.
I said that. Yeah, I said that his lawyers have the easiest payday of all time. Like this is like the defense is doing all the work for them.
Oh yeah, dude. It's so bonkers how bad these people are. But I mean, what do you do? Like, you're trying to defend probably one of the worst people you could try to defend right now. Like, everything's evidence-wise just goes against Amber Heard. But what I think is freaking bonkers is, did you see the deposition from that one dude in the car that's like vaping and fucking chilling out and like?
Oh, you know what? I didn't see it, but I heard about it. So can you tell me a little bit about that? I'm not exactly sure what it.
So I saw a little bit of that today, and I'm not really sure who the guy was. Like, I don't even know what he was. He just, to me, it literally almost looked like a TikTok video. It was so fucking funny.
Oh my god!
Like it didn't. I didn't understand it. I didn't. It was way out of context for me. But what a great way to watch a video that you don't really care about, other than out of context, especially this thing. It starts off with the dude literally vaping and being like, yes ma'am, I'm right here, I'm chilling out or whatever. And he's so nonchalant that he's like in a courtroom, like defending or talking about Johnny Depp. This guy's acting like he's talking about Quee or his cousin JJ kind of shit. Like it's just, he's hood, man. This kid's street. And in the middle of it, he's just like talking to the judge like if she was like a homegirl. And then he just starts driving. Like, he just takes off out of the parking lot and just starts driving around where he needs to go. While he's like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah. And I'm like,
is this him giving testimony in the courtroom, and he's like on a video cam?
Rick, a good friend of ours, Rick Quintanilla, my boy. What's up, man? Says, I think he's a doorman at the house. So he's one of the staffers in Johnny Depp's house.
Okay.
But like, I purposely think that Johnny Depp chose him because he knew it was going to be fucking funny as hell, dude. Because that guy literally was like the worst choice of a person to bring on a courtroom. Especially that not the worst, but like probably the most entertaining video. Because that guy's straight comedy. Like, that guy was, dude, like that was probably the next best thing from the turd in the bed. Dude, I'm not even lying. He was so funny. But other than that, it's the craziest thing. I think the craziest thing that went viral after that was the guy objected his own question.
I did see that. The defense attorney, right?
Yeah, the defense attorney objected his own question, and it baffled everyone. And my biggest thing is not the concern for Johnny Depp, because he's having a great time. It's how checked out the judge is. Like, if you guys get an opportunity and you're watching the case, just watch when the judge is like the last person the camera catches, and that is literally the face of someone who's lost all faith. She is so checked out. Like, right after the video with the doorman, like, she's literally like squeezing the bridge of her nose, like she's just like rubbing her face. And she literally says, I don't even know what that was. And then someone in the background's like, that was the weirdest thing. And then the lady's like, yeah, that was the weirdest. I've never experienced that. Like, they are just so like flabbergasted by how much nonsense is going on through this entire case. Probably the most entertaining thing I've seen on television in the last couple of weeks.
I'm watching the doorman right now.
You can't make it up, man. You can't make any of this up. And what's crazy is like, you know, I subscribe to like.
Why are you testifying and driving at the same time?
The only thing he needed to do was order something from a store, dude. Like order something from a McDonald's. Like, yeah, that's a 6 piece. And the judge be
can
like,
you imagine him going through the drive-through while testifying for that? That's all that was missing.
Like that, and it's the funniest shit ever.
That is all that was missing from this trial. Was this guy going to the drive-through?
There's no way. There's no way they didn't plan for this guy to be on this. There's no way this guy was like, "Hey, Johnny, can I be on the trial?" And Johnny's like, "For what?" He'd be like, "No, it's gonna be real funny, man. Just bring me on and bring me in as a testimony, and I'll do some funny shit like Jackass or something." There's no way. There's no fucking way that's real, dude. Yes, ma'am. I'll take a double cheeseburger with cheese. There's no. Come on, George, man. That's hard.
Jesus. Like, what else could possibly happen?
There's no way, dude. There's no way that wasn't planned to be like that.
I'm shocked. Why wasn't he just? Oh my god!
At least they parked, man. Like, why are you driving?
You know what I like about this,
dude? He didn't even dress up for the occasion.
No, I was about to say. You know what I like about this? I love the fact that he still put on like his church button-down T-shirt. Like you could tell that's the only button-down T-shirt this man owns.
Probably got.
That's the only one, bro.
It's not even ironed and shit.
Not at all. Not at all. He threw that shit on right before he jumped on that Zoom.
He's wearing shorts and a polo shirt.
1000%. That is insane. You know what? I honestly thought we were done talking about this shit, but it just keeps. Dude, it's like this is literally the gift that just keeps on giving. Like it just doesn't.
It's so
stop.
Crazy because we don't have to be like 100% watching this to catch the highlights.
Absolutely. Like, no, absolutely.
Because that right there by itself, like you just jumping on it just to check what I was talking about, like you already see for what it's worth. That guy's comedy gold right there.
Yeah, and you can also see like Johnny Depp just like smirking underneath. Like,
dude, he's laughing.
This is hilarious.
He's laughing. It's like he's waiting for the guy's punchlines. It's like he told Johnny Depp. It's like he seriously was like, "Yo, put me on, dude. I want to be on it. You know what I mean? Come on, man. I want to let my mom know. Let me say what's up to my friends. Yo, shout out to my mom."
That's all that was missing was a shout out. Like if you just pause in between his testimony, so I want to give a shout out to blah blah blah. This is the best thing about on TV.
Now, what's crazy is
this whole thing.
Next week is supposed to be Amber Heard on the bench. She's supposed to be on the seat.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
That's gonna be. I mean, I'm expecting all the tears, and I'm expecting like the best performance we've ever gotten out of Amber Heard in any performance she's ever done in her whole life.
Is there anything that she can say that would sway your opinion about her right now?
I mean, not really.
Let's say she had a logical explanation as to why there was shit in the bed.
As a matter of fact, this past week, Amber Heard did bring an actual like video of Johnny Depp being aggressive, like kicking furniture, like in the background and kicking all of this stuff and being, more than from what he's, talked about, that he is not a vulgar person, or not vulgar, but like a violent person, where he's kicking doorways and doing all this stuff. Like it's not enough to really sell that aspect. But there is a good amount of people that are like, hey, you know what? This shows that there is a possibility of some type of violence because he is smashing stuff and all of this. But I really don't think that she's going to pull some kind of ace out of her pocket. Unless
I don't think there's an ace there. There's
really nothing, man.
The damage is done. I think like as to the court of public opinion, she's fucked. Like I don't think there's anybody on the planet that thinks that she's a good person. So now at this point, she's left to just trying to convince the jury or the judge, and they're not doing a good job at it at all. Like
Mike's comment, she's the real.
I saw it. Yeah.
No, man, she screw that dookie bed biche.
If I was a juror, or if I was a judge, and then you come to court after everything that's been said about Amber, and then she gets on the she gets a shot to have her testimony heard.
Yeah.
And all she has is this video of him being irate. Only thing that I'm thinking about is, well, shit, like you almost made me lose a piece of my finger. You put shit in my bed. You've assaulted me multiple times. Mm-hmm. And all you have on me is a blow up where I'm calling you a few names. I kind of feel like that's she's gonna need to come with a little bit more than that. If that's all that she has, which I'm not saying that she does, but if that's all that she has to lean on, this is not gonna go well for her at all.
Well, not only that, like Rick mentions a really good thing, that was a rumor going around that for testimony they were going to bring on Elon Musk and James Franco.
I think there's something blocking that though.
Yeah, I was going to say, because of the fact that this is a defamation case against Johnny Depp, her doing outside stuff really doesn't matter.
Yeah. What if she was fucking Elon Musk? So what? Like, even if she was fucking Elon Musk.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean,
so
right?
What?
Like it wouldn't really matter, because it's not going to be like Elon Musk. They're going to bring him in because Amber Heard, told him. Because then from there, the guy's just going to say hearsay. And I don't know if anybody's watching this, but like that guy says hearsay for like everything, dude. Like everything.
That's all kind of that he has to. He has to.
Yeah, all he can do is try to like silence, by of course legal action, anything that kind of comes up against anything that isn't something he can use, right?
Yeah, I'm looking good.
But straight up, like I really don't see any possible way that she's going to bring some trump in the card, some ace in the hole kind of situation where she's going to be like, yo, here's my evidence. Look at how damned this guy is. And this is why I did all, because literally, like you said, she could literally bring up that he once threw the dog outside, and it's an indoor dog, right? Like, let's say that's something where he's abusive towards an animal in that sense. Putting that in a line compared to getting your finger severed off, defecating in someone's bed, someone's place of sanitation and whatnot, all the abuse verbally that has been recorded. Like there's no way that type of evidence is going to stack against Johnny Depp in that situation. But you know what? On a similar note, but going back into what their profession is, we know that Johnny Depp himself has said, I will never return to the Pirates of the Caribbean for them cutting me and not having faith in me and whatnot, right? In whatever points. I mean, we understand that Disney's only protecting itself. DC's kind of a little bit more loose about that, but Disney's only protecting. What are the chances that Pirates of the Caribbean succeeds without a Jack Sparrow?
I mean,
because right? We don't want to like say that it's in a horrible situation, but there are a good amount of sequels. The last sequel, of course, being with Johnny Depp. Of course, the guy's a G for coming out in every one of those sequels, because he could have bowed out on the third like everybody does. But he maintained and continued on. Of course, I don't think the last one was as popular as the first three. But what do you think the success would be for the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise going forward without a Johnny Depp?
It's gonna be a hard sell, because what you're I mean, if you're selling a Pirates of the Caribbean movie, I'm assuming it's gonna be with the original cast. So if you're trying to sell the movie with Orlando Bloom and what's the other chick's name?
The chick from Domino, right?
Yeah, I can't think of her name right now. It escapes me. But if you're just gonna sell it with those two, I can see them making some money. But obviously, everyone's gonna be looking for Jack Sparrow.
You know what?
Hold on one second. Okay. It's such an iconic.
Thank you, Rick.
Here it is. Keira Knightley. It's such an iconic character that it's going to have an effect on your box office, 1000%.
Definitely.
But can they still make some money? Yeah, it's a big franchise. It's a big franchise, and
I would watch it just to see what they're gonna do.
Yeah,
you know
so that's
I mean?
what I'm saying. Like you're gonna, and then not only that, but like you do still have box office names. I don't know if they would ever have another Pirates because I know Orlando Bloom, that guy is just off the face of the planet. Like you can't find that guy.
Yeah.
He's happily living his life. Keira Knightley, you don't really see her either. So it's like at this point, who even wants another pirate? So Johnny Depp might have been at a he might have been at a point where I can burn this bridge because they're not doing anything with it anyway, and they won't make as much money as they would if they had me. So sometimes in life, although I am a firm believer of never burning your bridges, sometimes in life you can take a calculated risk, and sometimes you can say fuck these people, and you'll be just fine. And I think that's what Johnny Depp did.
Alexander is a good friend of ours. He puts up.
So wait, he did say something, right? I was waiting for you to finish so I can kind of comment.
Are you talking about for Alex's comment?
Yeah. So
because he says she's gonna lose the case, but they're both trash people.
And although I do agree with him that she will lose this case, I haven't heard or seen anything so far to call Johnny Depp a trash person. What he is guilty of is what I am kind of guilty of, which is why I kind of identify with this guy. He just loves crazy women. That's his fault.
Do you think it's just like a toxic relationship kind of thing that he kind of
I don't think that's a question. That this is literally the definition of a toxic relationship from point A to whatever point you're trying to get to. Like this is a toxic relationship.
Oh, definitely. Straight up.
His only fault was not only all right. It's one thing to like date someone that you know is casually crazy and can have the capacity to possibly shit in your bed at some point. But it's another thing to marry this woman. Like now you're stuck with her. You can't
you're really stuck with her.
Yeah, you're stuck with her.
Now you're in the dirt of it, man. You're in the mud.
Trust me, I get it. I get the allure of dating someone that's crazy because 9 out of 10 times when you're dating a girl that's a little bit cuckoo, the sex is great. Let's just put it out there. It is. I don't know what it is. The crazy ones, they have the best sex. I'm sorry. So that might have been a situation and that doesn't change because you're a celebrity. The crazier, the better. That might have been a situation that he found himself in, that he was with a younger woman that was batshit crazy, that did all the crazy shit that he loves, and possibly some shit that he never even knew that he liked. Then you fucked around and married her. Now is a different ball game.
Comment sections be lit, man. I love
these guys. Sure.
Dude. Like George just asked, where do you think Amber Heard lies within the hotness to crazy graph?
No, and listen, I've had a separate group chat where I have admitted, even with everything that's been out in the public and how batshit crazy she is, I meet her at the bar, bro. I might, you know what? I might risk it, bro. Like, would you like? All right, let me ask you a question because I'm nuts, right? I'm one fry short of a Happy Meal, bro. You yourself, knowing everything you know about Amber Heard, and you had the chance to sleep with her, would you?
With who? Amber Heard?
Yes.
Oh, dude, she's a gorgeous lady. If I didn't know anything about what was going on, I mean.
No, that's not what I asked. That's not what I asked.
If I knew.
I'm asking if you knew, like this trial is over and this is done. And let's say she loses and it's a known fact that she shit in this man's bed.
Oh.
But yet you're out hanging out with your friends, having a good time. And Amber Heard taps you on your shoulder and said, hey, let's go have a good time. Are you saying no?
Is this with or without therapy?
No therapy.
After the trial.
No therapy.
Oh, no, man.
She's still the same crazy woman that you know her to be. Would you sleep with her? This is for scientific purposes here.
I really don't think I would.
Bullshit.
I really don't think I would.
So you're gonna lie to me.
I'm gonna pass it up.
All of these people that are listening and watching, you're just gonna lie to me like that.
No therapy, but she just had Taco Bell. Dude, I'm fucking telling you, dude. I'm fucking telling you, the comment section, dude. God damn, dude. I love you guys, man. That's funny as fuck. Because you know where that's gonna end up. But yeah, man, straight up, like in front of the comment section. I probably would not. That's
That
just me
is
though. Michael
that's
Murphy
insane.
is fucking cap locking it, just
See,
screaming.
listen,
He's
I
like,
love Mike.
"Oh man, I would."
Listen, I love Mike and I love people like Mike because Mike and people like Mike are the only people that will be real at the end of the day. Like, I am with Mike. Listen, I know she's batshit crazy. As a matter of fact, that's I'm the right tree to be barking up when you talk about crazy chicks. It's my thing. Like, I just have a thing for crazy women, and it kind of bites me in the ass at the end. But yes, I mean, even though I know how crazy she is, and people may judge me or whatever, but man, I'll take a crack at it. Fuck it. I don't know about marrying her. Like, I think Johnny Depp was going a little bit too far by marrying her, but like,
Mike, God damn.
I would let see.
Mike would suck a fart out of her, dude. I know this guy. He's hard, man. He goes hard. Yeah, dude, I fucking wouldn't. But then again, this goes back to what we were talking about the last time, where we 100% believe that Jason Momoa did.
I did not mean to open the floodgates, Mike. Like, you didn't have to.
I'm telling you,
holy shit!
He's like, yeah, dude, fucking tap me in, coach.
He just needed someone to co-sign him on this.
Write an audible, man. I'm about this life. Throw me in, coach. Cut him and get him out, man. Tag team, Johnny.
That wasn't a cosign for you to go off the rails, Mike. Like, let's gain some composure, bro. Let's just gain some composure, bro. Holy shit. Good.
But like, straight up, like, this goes back to the idea of what we talked about a while back, where we were like, yo, I think 100% Jason Momoa got at that shit after even knowing all this shit. Like, this is why I think not Johnny Depp, but Jason Momoa was having problems with his wife and all their problems that they were dealing with and stuff. Because I think Amber Heard got it.
I mean, again, Jason Momoa did it the right way. If that is, I might get canceled for that. But I mean, like, she's hot, she's attractive. So if you wanted to, just do your thing with her, I get that. No matter how crazy she is, but for you to have a long-term relationship with this woman, I think is just it would be a poor decision on anyone's.
But yeah, I mean, this goes off. I mean, because I know people that have dated some chicks worse than this, and they're not even close to
worse than this.
Worse than this. Not even being as pretty as this lady, right? What they do in their personal life, is it right for it to be in such a limelight where we pedestal them or put them lower in society just because of their fame and fortune? I mean, cheating and doing relationship shit like that shouldn't really be a factor on how people are judged, in the sense of, I mean, yeah, like in their own personal lives, it's in the essence of how they're judged by their peers and whatnot. But you know what? Like, I really hope this chick can someday find happiness, because she seems like she's very damaged. She's a damaged person. It's the same thing like Ezra Miller. Like, I don't want anything bad to happen to the dude. I just want someone to fucking calm his ass down. This chick is in the same possibility. If she's not going to jail for what she did to Johnny Depp's finger, this chick's just going to be out there. I mean, I don't want her to assault someone else.
Yeah. Again, I'm highly surprised. I think you asked the question last week, what was the most shocking thing to me? And I think that's what I said. I think I said that the fact that this is only a defamation case.
Yeah.
After thinking about it, I guess I understand why Johnny Depp would have a defamation case, because he's losing work over this. He's losing money over this. So I get it. But how this was never an assault. Listen, I'll say, I think I said it last week. If Johnny Depp had just taken her or press charges, this would not even be a thing. We would have already known that she was crazy, and he wouldn't have to go through a defamation case. But the fact that he felt so compelled to protect her when she, I mean, let's call a spade a spade. She, even though she was married to him, it was at a certain point where she didn't give a fuck about him. She's fucking different people. She's assaulting him. She's making him lose money.
Yeah,
she didn't give a fuck about him. So why he felt compelled to still protect her is a little bit foolish to me, because it ultimately cost you money, and it ultimately had people call you a scumbag, just like we just had in the comments. Someone is calling you trash. Someone is calling you a scumbag when you might have not done anything. When all you had to do was just protect yourself and do the right thing when it was necessary. So this whole thing is a shit show. I didn't even anticipate us talking about it today, to be honest with you. I'm glad that we did. I'm glad that we did, to get some of this out because I feel
yeah. I mean, it's one of those things, like, it's an interesting conversation, because I don't think I've ever seen anything like this before out in public.
Not publicly.
Yeah, not publicly. I mean, I've heard stories and stuff like that, but it's nuts, dude. It really is like one of the craziest reality TV shows I've ever seen in my life. But you know what? Like it's like I said earlier, I do subscribe to the conspiracy stuff.
Yeah.
And apparently that the reason why a lot of people believe this case is getting so much traction is because the Ghislaine Maxwell case. Right? Do you know who I'm talking about?
That's the Ghislaine.
Yeah, yes. That she's out there doing her case at the same time, and it's not really getting any recognition for what it's worth. How do you feel about that?
Yeah. So I am I don't want to say a complete conspiracy theorist, but I do feel as though there is a weird coincidence that in the middle of the Ghislaine Maxwell trial, that this is all coming out, and it's kind of
overshadowing,
yeah, it's overshadowing, perfect word, it's overshadowing what's going on over there. So yeah, no, it's definitely a weird coincidence, but trust me, I mean, if you do your due diligence, if you just listen, I have the capacity to watch and read and keep up with a lot of shit, so I can be entertained with Amber and Johnny, but best believe I'm gonna keep one eye open over there on the Maxwell case, because we need to figure out what the fuck's going on over there. I think that at some point names are going to be out, and I can't wait for that. Seriously.
I mean, just right now, of course, we all know about the situation that's going on with Elon and Twitter, and a lot of like things that are coming out from there. There's a lot of problems going on with Disney right now. Disney itself is going through a lot of legal issues now, being tarnished and torn through with a bunch of legal action in Florida. There's a lot of big name things that are getting that burn right now, man. It's interesting what's going to happen in the next couple of, I would say, like maybe weeks. I mean, I think it's going to be crazy. I know we don't really talk much about that stuff, but I mean, shit, it's still something that we could kind of like make sure that we touch base on just to talk about it. I think the Elon Musk thing that went through, I thought that was pretty crazy this past week.
Yeah, so I know I started the show off by saying that I'm always right. This is the one rare occurrence where I was wrong. I was completely wrong on this. I think I came on here and I said,
you didn't think he was going to do it, right?
I think I came on here and I think I said that it was all bullshit.
Like
a
big joke or something, like it was just a big troll.
Yeah, I thought he was out here really trying to troll. But no, this motherfucker was 1,000%
straight up
dead ass. Like, he was dead ass about buying Twitter, and he did. Like, wow.
Wow, that's crazy. George just put, bro, I don't know how true it is, but some Twitter employees are calling it horrible workplace, comparing it to living in Ukraine. I don't know, man.
Working at Twitter?
Yeah, I was going to say I'd probably choose a job at Twitter than where I'm working right now. And I'd be fucking happy about it. I don't know, man. I think that's
comparing working at a Fortune 500. I don't know if Twitter's a Fortune 500 company, but working at Twitter being compared to
working at a major conglomerate, right, or a major franchise.
Yeah, comparing that to working in Ukraine,
Yeah, no,
I
comparing that
think
to a
that's a
war where
little
people are
that's a
dying in Ukraine,
little it's a
some
little that's a
fucking
little much.
sketchy, fucking stingy ass bullshit.
That's a little much. Like,
Yeah.
I get it, you may be working listen, whatever, perks and benefits you get at Twitter is probably 100 times better than what the average person gets at a regular job. So,
I mean, it's got to be better than being at war with Russia, right?
anything could be better than that.
Yeah, dude, anything's fucking better than that. But yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of people that are out there that are going to be, putting their 2 cents and all that stuff. But it is what it is, dude. The fucking memes though for the Twitter shit, Robert. You saw the Coca-Cola one, the Coca-Cola meme? Apparently on
Oh.
Elon Musk's Twitter
Oh,
page,
yeah, I did
it
see
was
that.
like, yo, I'm gonna buy Coca-Cola now and put cocaine back in it.
I did see that.
Dude,
I saw a lot of those. I saw a lot of
those
those.
memes are the best, dude. I'm telling you, the world doesn't fucking have no shame when it comes to the meme factor. Memes are just there would make everything make sense. Except for Johnny Depp's case, because that whole goddamn case is a meme. Whole goddamn case.
I'm actually happy. Listen, before you move on, I will, even though I'm over it and I'm tired of talking about it, I am happy that I live in today's society where I'm able to see this. Because it's like, I would have never have thought I would have seen Johnny Depp, of all people, giving
Yeah. You see, our
testimony.
boy Michael Murphy put a comment up in the comment section. Good call, man. I've worked for some of the best tech companies in the world, which I vouch for him, man. This dude is hyper intelligent when it comes to tech. Currently work for a Ukrainian company, and I know what it's like in Ukraine. That statement melts my mind. Twitter might be stressful, but Ukraine is dealing with war crimes. So I can't read the rest of the comment.
I've never
I agree with you, man.
I've never worked for a company, and I've never lived in Ukraine, but I feel pretty safe going out on the limb saying that working for Twitter is nothing like living or working in Ukraine right
That's
now.
like that privilege talk, man. That's just what that is. That's just weird talk.
Yeah.
But going on, news in the comic book world, we had the passing of a late great Neil Adams at the age of 80 dies of sepsis. Sepsis? How do you say it? Cespis.
Okay.
Guy was a G, man. He drew a lot of good stuff, made a lot of good comic books back in the day. You know, it's sad to hear him go, but at the same time, 80 years old is a beautiful age. I hope myself one day I can make it to at least close to 80. You get to grow up and you get to see a lot of things happen. You get to see your family grow. You get to see your children have children and your generations. You get to see the fruits of your labor at least tenfold. So
80, you think 80 is like an ideal number? Would you want to live longer or shorter than 80? Like, how do you see, like, what age?
I think 80 is a prominent number.
Okay.
I think right now, I'm guessing with the way society is, 80 would probably be the life expectancy for a lot of human beings right now on the cusp.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think it really goes. I mean, yeah, like maybe like mid 80s. I don't see a lot of people going into like 90s and hundreds anymore. Kind of feel like 80s that magic number. Yeah, I think that's a good age, man. I
can definitely agree with you. 80, I think if by the time I'm 80, there's nothing that I have to do. Like, if there's anything that I feel as though I have to do while I'm 80, I'm kind of gonna feel a certain way about my life. I think by 80, everything it's wrapped up. Like, I can go at any time. I'll be happy. Whatever little bit of regrets that I may have, I can live with. But by 80, it's pretty much a wrap for me.
Yeah, I know. Like, sometimes I see it where people are like, "Man, 80, dude, like that's fucked up, man, too soon." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like 80's like, shit. I'm at 40, and I'm like, "Fuck, dude, check me out, dude. Get me the fuck out of here." Sometimes, but like I said, 80, I think is a very, very prominent age. I think that's a beautiful age. I think, like I said, that's enough to see your labors flourish. And yeah, man. He did a lot of great things for the comic book world. He's a fucking legend. And all we can say is thank you for all your hard work and continue on, man. He passes on roughly around the same time that Odin passes on in the comic books. In the Thor comic book recently, they had an awesome issue depicting the funeral for Odin, who passed away in the comic books recently during a battle with the Hammer and Mangog, which is the God of Hammers issue arc. It was very good. So what a time to go. I would love to go when Odin goes, man. You go like a god, man.
Symbolic, yeah. I like it.
Passing of a great, Neil Adams. Staying in the comic book era, you're gonna be mighty proud of me. I got my tickets for Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yes. So you gotta
check it out on Thursday.
Thursday. So you're gonna Thursday. What time Thursday?
Yeah, we're looking at going around 7:35, and we're gonna be checking it out in 3D.
Oh shit! You're gonna see it before I see it. I think I have a 10 o'clock show on Thursday. So wait, when did this all change? Where like wasn't it usually like a 12 o'clock showing Thursday night going into Friday because it's technically still Friday? When does it become now that Thursdays are the premiere days? Like, have you noticed that?
Yeah, I think that was with the coronavirus. I think they were just trying to find any which ways to try to make that cash flow. So they were like, yo, you know what? Instead of promoting midnight, why don't we promote, half a day earlier, right as soon as everybody gets out of work?
Wait, Rob, you said you have three tickets? Is that what that means? You have 3 tickets to see this movie? Please explain, elaborate. I need to know. And anyone in the comments, and anyone in the comments too. I want to know, do you guys have tickets? Are you guys excited? Like, are you guys pumped? Chris, talk me up, man. Like, are you ready to see this movie? Like, it's been so long, so much speculation. We've had about a year of just speculations and
definitely
and leaks. And are you finally ready to see this movie?
I'm very much ready to see Doctor Strange. I think I said it a couple of weeks ago that I was just already through with all the hyping and I just needed to be out already. And here we are, a week out. And I got my tickets in 3D and I haven't seen a 3D movie. I was telling you about this earlier. I haven't seen a 3D movie since Captain America #1. And I think the only thing that I liked and was willing to pay for was the fact that I could see the snow particles like up in the air, like from in the beginning part of the film where it's like snow and shit. And I was like, whoa, this is going to be great. And throughout the rest of the movie, I couldn't really tell it was 3D. I was just watching a movie with glasses on. So, and just like a really weird headache after a while. So am I excited? Oh, I don't know. But then again, from Captain America to now, the technology and them selling the idea of 3D films being the next magical thing, I'm really expecting some fireworks, man. And being that it's Doctor Strange, I would not have mind seeing the original Doctor Strange in 3D. With all the visuals and all the stuff that it does, I think that would have been amazing. Like with the part where he's like astral projection.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that would have been an amazing call, but I'm hoping that the technology has somewhat gotten better the last couple of years. So that way it's not as bad as what a lot of people feel like. I mean, we have Adrian in the comment section. He says too, like 3D's meh, you know what I mean? But through the board, I went looking for tickets for this film and every theater in my area was sold out completely. The only ones that were available were like the nosebleed seats in the fronts.
Like I think it's important that you iterate that the reason why you went for 3D is because there was nothing else available.
There was really nothing left.
I personally I don't anticipate myself seeing another 3D movie like ever.
Yeah.
I think I saw one a few years ago when every movie that came out was in 3D because it was apparently like a special thing, even though it had been out for like 20-30 years prior. But there was like a 3D boom that happened a few years ago where every movie was in 3D. And I think I saw one movie, and I don't even remember what movie it was, but whatever movie it was, I just thought it was trash watching it in 3D. So I have never seen another movie in 3D. And I don't anticipate me seeing another one. Like it's not for me. But if I were to make an exception,
this would probably be one.
I think this one could possibly be it, because there's just going to be so much shit going on that they might be able to
what got me to buy the fucking ticket, dude. I'm not even lying. Yeah. And you know what really sold me, and I'm not even gonna lie, it's the last rumors and hype and trailers that they've been putting out.
Okay.
That really was like, geez, dude, like I really have to go see this. Like it's been getting so bonkers that I have to go watch it. Like the Peggy Carter, you know, fucking like them literally showing her in the trailer, you know, Charles Xavier, like the yellow chair. This is going to be the first introduction of the X-Men in the Marvel universe. I mean, the Maria Rambeau character as Captain Marvel, like there's just so many things. I'm excited to see what they're going to try to do to adapting America Chavez on screen, to see if they're going to be able to pull it off. Of course, there's skepticism for me there. The reason why is because, of course, there's been a lot of ups and downs for America Chavez in the comic books, and I really, really hope, and I'm hopefully going to see them fix her character here, similar to the way they're doing Moon Knight. Like, I'm just really excited.
So yeah, I guess that kind of goes into what I was going to ask you before. I mean, I don't know if this can be a topic, but you know, there was another trailer or short trailer that just came out where, yes, there was a still photo of the Charles Xavier. I don't even know if it's a wheelchair.
Mighty close to the 90s cartoon, man.
So it's definitely confirming that it's the 90s cartoon. And so when I led off in the show, I asked you a specific question, sir. And I asked you, does it ever like just grind your gears that I'm always right? And it seems as though, since you got us here, that in one of these still pictures that we've seen of the trailer, that as predicted by Nostradamus himself, which would be me, that it's not Tom Cruise's Iron Man variant or Tony Stark variant, that it is indeed. Now, this is kind of up in the air whether it's Maria or whether it's Monica Rambeau, but it's definitely going to be a Captain America.
Captain Marvel.
What's her name? Not Captain America, but Captain Marvel variant that is going to be making a scene in this movie where she's fighting Wanda. And you know, sometimes I just like to pat myself in the back because, you know, we have like these strong debates, and I love the fact that you're just so convinced. But bro, man, just listen to me, man. I'm right.
The reason why I didn't want that to be is because I'm expecting to get a better send-off for Maria Rambeau in the next Captain Marvel movie, The Marvels. That's where I'm expecting to see her again, because her character dies off screen of cancer in the blip during WandaVision. I did not expect them to be like, yo, let's just bring her back to kill her again and give her a proper death scene against, you know, Wanda. Because, I mean, from what we've heard, Wanda's going to tank everybody. So I didn't think they were going to go with that, but apparently it looks like they are. But then again, they could switch that up, man. And I always tell people, like, there was a scene once. There was a scene literally once where, what was it? The Hulk was running with all the Avengers at the Infinity War or Endgame. Like, there was that scene. You saw that one time, right? And the Hulk never was in that scene where he even did anything.
You think that's what they're doing here?
They could. There was one of them that was supposed to be that one Wanda picture, the one I told you about, where it looks kind of off.
Yeah, that's like one scene where was used for, I mean, it was used for promo to show everyone together. This is a full blown fight with Wanda. Like, you can't. You see what I'm saying? Like, with the scene that you're talking about was just like it was
like a flyby.
Yeah, it was like
a quick splash shot. This is like a straight up battle.
Yeah, you can't fake this one. Like this is in the movie.
No, definitely. But we do know there have been a lot of cuts and a lot of reshoots, so we don't know for sure what shots they're going to be going with, and they could be just using these as throwaways in the trailers.
Possibly.
I mean, that's for sure. I mean, if there's one thing that we know about Marvel, is they're 100% about that troll. Like they're 100% about that troll before these come out. I got a text a little while ago from George. He says that it looks like some people may be getting cut from the live feed. If you guys can, give us a comment, let us know that we're okay. We're still getting comments, which is interesting. So, George is like, my internet may be bad though. So no, just letting people know.
I was gonna say
making sure that everybody's cool.
The comments.
Let us know if you're still in the comments, guys. So Adrian asked earlier. I just want to go back and make sure that we're catching up with the comments and stuff like that because we are getting them a little late. Adrian asks, are there X-Men that are going to be are mutants going to be in Love and Thunder? We're not really sure yet. I can probably guarantee that Hercules will probably be the only person other than by chance, maybe we get like a really random Storm call, which I really doubt unless we get a Thor core call back, which would be cool. But yes, there are a lot of speculations and a lot of comments that are about Love and Thunder. We don't really know too much about it, except for what everybody else knows and what's been given in the trailer. Super excited about that too. But for sure, we're looking at getting our first touch of mutants in Doctor Strange. It's already been shown in the trailer that a variant of Charles Xavier will be there. He is in the yellow chair from what it shows in one of the stills in the recent trailers. But there was also rumors that we're going to be debuting a Wolverine also. Did you hear about that?
I mean, I don't know how much I believe Wolverine.
Oh, I'm wearing the Walking Dead t-shirt.
What happened?
He's crispy. That's my brother. He's in the comments saying my brother. Hi, Bob. My brother Bobby. My brother Bobby's a genius when it comes to film. He knows that shit off the top of his head. He's so smart when it comes to like actors and stuff.
Yeah.
Like he's super good. But the Doctor Strange 2 is looking to bring up some very, very interesting things. And I when you told me about it last week, it'd been on my mind the whole week. When you were like, yeah, man, I hope you guys get your tickets this time because I don't want to be the only person to see it before the show. Yeah. And it was really eating me. And I was like, yo, I have to get tickets. So Wednesday we decided to get online. We bought our tickets. I'm super hype about it. I think everybody should be just as hype. This is going to be one of the next biggest Marvel movies. Bringing in, of course, venturing in. You know what? I really think there's a possibility we may even get Jane Foster's Thor in this film in some way. What do you think?
They don't have the time. Well, like I love the fact that everyone keeps like speculating who's going to be in this movie, but the
2 hours.
They have a 2-hour runtime. Like they're cutting people out of this movie. Like everyone keeps adding people into it, but they're not adding runtime to it. They're taking people out of this movie. Like they overshot cameos. Like they did the reshoots full of cameos because they felt as though they needed it for this movie. And then they realized that they only had 2 hours, so they had to cut people out. So they're having an issue of having too many people in this movie. So I don't think we're gonna get Jane Foster. I don't think we're gonna get Wolverine. I don't think we're gonna get any of these obscure characters that aren't
Ezra Miller as Wolverine
that aren't already in the MCU. Like I would love for Wolverine to be in this movie, but we don't have the fucking time, bro. And honestly, that scares the fuck out of me. It scares the fuck out of me that there's a 2-hour runtime when just off of who is in this movie and what you're trying to tell. It had to have been at least 2.5 hours, and I wouldn't have mind to sit there for 2.5 hours. But 2 hours, that's scaring the fuck out. It's actually under 2 hours. It's under 2 hours.
Do you still subscribe to the original plot that you believe this movie to be? Like maybe like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I haven't heard that has changed. I think that they just added some scenes in the reshoots to kind of beef it up a little bit, and then they realized that they had too much. So yeah, although I am excited, I'm super ready for this movie to come out. Like again, I predicted months ago that this was the movie that I was waiting for. It wasn't so much the Spider-Man movie, it was this movie.
Yeah.
I honestly think that this runtime is gonna piss me off. And I hate to say that before I see the movie, but I just don't want them to rush. I want them to take their time. If they take their time and do this movie the way that it should be done, it could be one of the best MCU movies ever.
Ever.
Like,
Well, yeah, that's every MCU movie.
I honestly feel as though, yeah, no, you're right. You're right. You're 1000% right. But being that they're going for the shock, like they're going for the shock value, and they're going for the shock and awe value of it, they could have knocked this out the park, man. Listen, I sat through Endgame twice. That's 6 hours of my life I spent in the movie theater.
Yeah.
I would not have mind. I sat there and I watched the Snyder cut. I would have not mind sitting in the movie theater for 3 hours if you're telling a great fucking story.
What do you think prevents Disney and Marvel from going in that direction and doing like a straight up 4-hour, movie as in the way Zack Snyder did?
You got to sell that to people. The great thing about the Snyder cut was that you were able to watch at home. You can sit on your couch. You can break it up into days. You can watch the first 2 hours in one day, and then if it becomes too much, you can watch the second 2 hours the next day. If you're trying to sell someone to sit in a movie theater for 4 hours, that's now you're dwindling on the audience that you're speaking to. Everyone, no matter how much of a fan you think you are, not everybody has 4 hours in their day to sit in a movie theater. So that is probably the obstacle that they would have to face. Me, I'll watch it no matter what. I'll find 4 hours. But to get the casual fan, the everyday fan, that might be a little bit hard. That might be a little bit. What do you think
about them just extending films to 3.5?
I mean, they can, but again, that's asking a lot of the viewer. Listen, today's society is so fast paced. It's such a microwave era where things come and they go. Music comes in and goes. You never talk about it again. Movies, they come and they go. We have conditioned ourselves to live in this microwave era where things don't last long. So it's like, and people's attention spans are dwindling by the year. Like every year, our attention span gets lower and lower. So to ask someone to sit in the movie theater for 3.5 hours while the whole world is passing by them,
that could be rough.
It can be rough.
Yeah.
It can be rough. It's a hard sell. There are the few of us that will still do it, but it's not going to be for everyone. Now, Endgame, I think, was an anomaly because that was the payoff for the last 10 years. You're not going to get that payoff every year or every 2 years because you can.
Just to be shorter.
You know what I'm saying? So that's just my take on it.
I mean, I think elongating movies to 3.5 hours rather than 2, I think that might be the next evolutionary step for some films. If the pacing is done correctly and can hang, I think Marvel films are going to have to go in that direction because there's so much information that's being processed through each film now. So many more actors, so many more people. Like you cannot just be adding, a cast of 20 people and keeping it all in 2 hours and trying to make something work and have this like elaborate spider web of stories happening without elongating the hours of the film itself. Bob puts, you're about the cuts. You need to make sure that they make the story in the Snyder cut. Oh, I don't know how maybe I'm reading that wrong, but Yeah, I really think that that's the evolutionary step when it comes to these big franchise films, especially the ones that have a tremendous amount of characters in it, right? Because you have so many different ways that the story iterates with itself. And then, of course, Marvel being that the next fave, like Kevin Feige said, was going to be to elaborate on the space opera that Marvel is trying to produce and pick up, where they're trying to build that whole space franchise part. You know, and to do that, you're gonna need a lot more time. That's just my personal opinion on it. But
absolutely,
I think you're 100% correct. That's been the biggest concern, right? Is the fact that this movie's only going for about 2.5 hours, and it's bringing in apparently a plethora of fucking characters, all while trying to establish a new character, America Chavez, explain to you how Wanda's going to be the villain, and explain to you how there's 5 different Doctor Stranges, and how Wong is doing as the Sorcerer Supreme. Yeah, there's a lot of things that are getting cut in there, man. A lot of things. And then not only to mention it, but in one of the trailers, now there's like a fly-by-night shot of the Living Tribunal. I don't know if you've heard about this.
I did see. What did I see? I did see someone talk about it.
Yeah, probably like a YouTube channel or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently they're going to establish the literal god of the Marvel universe in literally like a casual, like, oh, jump into a scene, bye. And they're going to just put him in there without explaining it to anyone, which I think is fucking nuts, man. Who would have thought that we were ever going to, they're not even going to be judged, George. Like, that's what's fucking crazy is apparently in the middle of this shot, like just America Chavez and Doctor Strange are going to fly right by the Living Tribunal. And he's just going to be like, what the hell is that? Fuck, I don't know. That was weird as hell. Like, you know what I mean? like that's what they're going to do. And who in their right mind in the comic book world would ever say, yo, we're about to get our first live action iteration view shot or whatever you want to call it of the fucking Living Tribunal.
The Living Tribunal.
The Living Tribunal. Crazy. That is fucking bonkers.
That's wild.
The idea of comic books, man. Like that is wild. That is wild to me. I don't even know how to explain it. I don't even know how to explain it, how crazy that is. Oh, okay, so Bobby makes a good point. Well, he was in the Living Tribunal was in Loki.
So yeah, yes, I was gonna say that there was a reference to the Living Tribunal.
It's a very slight reference, and it's such a fly-by-night reference. But yes, there's a statue of him. But that means that's like a race of people, like showing their respects to this character, who are just making something of what they've seen or what they've heard, what it looks like. But to understand what the Living Tribunal is in this, there was going to be a scene in Infinity War, and it was cut because the director was like, it's way too fucking far out there. Like, no one's going to get it. It was the scene where all the Avengers, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, the Guardians of the Galaxy, and Iron Man all lock up Thanos for the first time. And Mantis is on his head trying to control him, and they're trying to remove the glove. When that scene happens, Doctor Strange was apparently supposed to take Thanos in front of the juror or in front of the Living Tribunal to be judged. And he was going to go through his trial the same way it is in the comic books. And the director was like, oh, that would be cool, but I don't think anybody's going to get it. Which I 100% agree. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just didn't make any sense. But then again, it goes back to that weird shot where his daughter's like in that one water scene in the light, and it never really explained that either. Like that little world that he kind of, what did it cost? Everything or whatever.
Yeah.
It's so fucking crazy just to see this all transpire. Mm-hmm. But then again, this is the perfect place to put it other than the Ant-Man films, because you have every reason to be fucking bonkers in whatever you put in these films, because Doctor Strange's films have that opportunity to be so multiversally weird that you can kind of get away with it in this. So where else would you want to see the Living Tribunal other than a Doctor Strange film?
I mean, it would make sense. It's probably going to be the easiest movie to get the
away with
living
stuff like
tribunal
that.
in. Yeah, it's going to probably because like there's no holds barred at this point. There's no rules here. There's like the playbook is being thrown out at this point. So everything
now,
is.
I do have to make a comment about that because I wanted to make a prediction. And this will be a prediction for the ending of what I think how this is going to end and how it's going to break into kind of like a House of M vibe. That's a really good question. Adrian put, is it just me or does the Multiverse of Madness sound a little bit like the House of M, but like mutants take the back seat? It's a good question. It takes away from the point of it being the House of M if you remove the mutants. But at the ending of the first half of House of M, you get Wanda to give everyone exactly what they want. Like just gives everybody their wish. And she removes herself, her brother, and Magneto and gives them their own island and makes them kings and queens, creating the House of Magus, which is, the House of M. Yeah. And the only person that she removes is Charles Xavier. Like removes him from the board completely.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And in this film, we have the 90s Charles Xavier, which is, that's speculation. It could be a variation close to the 90s cartoon. It could literally be, I'm Charles Xavier from, the comic books. And it'd be like that instead of it being the cartoon one, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we do know from speculation and from rumors and stuff that Wanda is supposed to fight Charles Xavier and wipe him out, apparently.
That's what I'm hearing, yeah.
What if that ends up being like a very interesting take on the House of M where she doesn't really kill him, but she like brings the idea of where the Illuminati is or was or whatever they're factoring their story. Mm-hmm. They're bringing all of those characters into the universe.
Well, I think that's what they're doing.
Like merging. I don't. That's how they do like a weird merger.
Yeah, no, I do think that's what they're doing. I don't think that they're bringing in Xavier or this particular Xavier or this variant of Xavier, I should say, to be a long stem character in the MCU. He's going to get tanked, but then there's going to be a variant or whatever. But it is a way to introduce mutants and whoever the fuck you want. This movie, this is the reason why I was so interested in this movie, is because this is the movie that there's no rules.
Yeah, we're getting it.
If you wanna bring in Deadpool, this is the movie to do it.
And you can get away with it so easy.
If you want to bring in mutants, this is the movie. If you want to bring in Apocalypse, if you want to bring in any character in the MCU, this is the movie to do it. This is the reason why it's been so wild with speculations and it's been like nonstop leaks, because this is supposed to be the movie that is supposed to blow the whole MCU wide open and lead us officially into the next phase. Yeah. So honestly, I think that's what their plan is. I think that's what they're gonna focus executing wise anyway. I'm excited.
So Bob asked 2 questions. So being that Moon Knight brings the Egyptian thing into canon in the Marvel universe, does this make X-Men Apocalypse canon? I believe so, dude. Since Charles Xavier is sitting there in Doctor Strange, that means there is a possibility somewhere that Apocalypse reigns in that world. Is it Oscar Isaac? I don't know, but straight up, it's Apocalypse is there somewhere. And I do think that we may get a Magneto reference or something. I really, really fucking do. Especially since they're doing that Charles Xavier with the yellow chair. Like, that's 100%. And then he asks, what if the Juggernaut shows up and beats Charles with Charles? Giving us the greatest reference to the Juggernaut bitch back in the day. It's the Juggernaut bitch. I'm gonna beat your ass with Charles. Yeah, dude, that's straight up. And Adrian, of course, dropping some really, really cool knowledge. WandaVision is totally the dreamscape she was in the House of M. I never really saw it that way, but I can comprehend how that could be a thing. Which he's saying that.
Let's say that. Wait. You said WandaVision is totally the dreamscape she
in the House
was
of M, which is like the precursor to the House of M, like that beginning aspect, the intro to it, when she's having kids, they're in the bed, Wanda and him are in love, and then Charles Xavier / Doctor Strange comes in, and they're like, "Yo, you need to quit this. This is fake. Stop that shit." That literally is almost a precursor to the House of M WandaVision if you break it down. People were coming in. Monica Rambeau was like, "Yo, you got to stop this. It's not real." It all breaks apart with that weird fuzzy, it all breaks apart at the very end. All the red magic goes away. All the whole House of M theory, and it's true. In a weird way, it's very reminiscent to the House of M. Very, very reminiscent. And then Mike, our boy Michael Betancourt, comes in. Hope you're doing good, my man. Don't forget, she also makes Polaris a daughter of Magneto, which happens in the House of M too. But yeah, it would be funnier if Oscar Isaac plays both characters in the movie. Yeah, there would be a lot of people that would be fucking fantastic about that. I want to believe that there's going to be a group of classic X-Men that'll be there with Charles Xavier. That would make me fanboy a little bit, and I'd be a lot more happier.
I think that's where you're going to get your Magneto reference or your Magneto
that's kind of like what I'm hoping with, because my thing was I thought it was going to be like a life raft for other universes that had been destroyed by something like an incursion. But being that apparently Wanda's are going out there and destroying universes, maybe her fidgeting around in a universe makes it end up destroying itself, or its reality being broken, and these people are trying to find ways to survive. It could 100% be. I'm still very up in the air about what the plot is of the film. You know what I mean? Morph. Oh, that would be so cool.
So Adrian just gave the best fucking answer. I mean, he just gave a best name of all time.
Name drop, yeah.
If anyone first off, why is Morph such like a cult classic? Like I get it.
It was the 90s. The 90s.
So cartoon. It was a 90s cartoon. Right. I get it. Like I get it. He was killed. Listen, it shocked the shit out of me too. I was flabbergasted. I was shocked that they killed off Morph in one of the earlier episodes of the first season, I think, right? Or whatever. But then he comes back, right? And Morph seemed to be like a cult favorite,
instant cult favorite, yeah,
which man. I never understood why. He was cool, but he was fucking great, he was the male version of fucking Mystique. Like I didn't see anything special.
I think it's for what it's worth, right? When they wrote him in the script, like they made him like Wolverine's best friend for no apparent reason. Like, and then
he was Wolverine, just like a likable guy. He was like the asshole,
he was the everyday dude.
Yeah, he was like the likable asshole. He had a lot of smart comments, and like the banter between him and Logan were pretty cool. So like he kind of did have like a good relationship with Logan, but that whole mission was fucked. By the way, that whole mission that killed
that he gets fucking derailed with.
Yeah, the whole mission was fucked anyway. But yeah, I'm a big fan of the X-Men cartoon series. That was my shit, yo.
Yeah, straight up. And that's because it is making a comeback, which I'm really excited to see. From what I heard, a lot of the original writers and creators are not coming back with it. It's just the MO that's coming back, and we'll just see what it goes from here. But apparently, it's going to continue on right where it left off. Charles Xavier got picked up by the Queen of the Shi'ar Empire, and he got taken off to go be fixed or whatnot, and left the X-Men on Earth to deal with their own stuff, which is pretty cool. But what else am I hyped for in this film? I said already before, I'm hyped to see them fix America Chavez. That I want to see. I hope it's done right. From what it looks like in the commercials, the girl does a pretty good job of playing this character. There's not a lot to go off of other than the comic books that have either people have liked or shit on. So there's not a lot of. I mean, yeah, there's also the cartoons and stuff like that. You know, I really hope that they have that sass that her character has a lot in the cartoons. Like, you know, there's a lot of things I'm hoping. So it is what it is. We'll see how it goes. It's already here. That's what's cool is it's here.
Yeah, we'll see.
Fucking here. I'm taking the day off of teaching my MMA classes to go and see this thing. Like it has to be good. It has to be good.
I like it.
I'm supposed to be teaching people how to be killers. This is what I'm spending my time doing. It better be worth it. My brother Bobby says also something that I know he's excited for. That he's hyped for Bruce Campbell's character, which I don't know why, but I constantly overlook. And I want to say it's because he's such a legend in the film world now that he doesn't really need to act anymore.
Okay.
And there's been such speculation on who he's going to play. But I'm just excited to see him come out. Like, I don't know if anybody else feels that way. What I really wanted him to do was come out as the dude that he plays in Spider-Man. Like, just that random guy that he's like, I wanted him to be that Mysterio. He was supposed to be a Mysterio in the original Spider-Man trilogy.
Yeah.
Where he was always kind of, that would have been cool. But I really doubt it. More than likely we'll get like the way we got the Glorious Purpose classic Loki. I figure that he'll probably be classic Doctor Strange, which would be pretty cool.
I would totally dig it.
Right, that'd be pretty cool, right? To see him like in like a cotton kind of like 1980s version of the fucking Doctor Strange outfit from like those old bad Captain America movies, like way back in the day, the bad Fantastic Four, which we did get word today also about that apparently the director of the new Fantastic Four stepped down.
Yeah. I honestly, I just saw that like on a flyby article. What are you anticipating anything for like the fans? Like, is there anything that hi, Madeline. Is there anything that you're looking forward to, or anything that you're anticipating for this Fantastic Four movie?
For the Fantastic Four?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're the first family of the Marvel Universe.
But are you looking forward to it? Like, is it like, is your, I guess your excitement level peaking right now, or is it just like, I'll see where it is when we get there?
It's not necessarily for the Fantastic Four itself, but what it brings to the table, in the sense of like the possibility for the expansion of story when it comes to the Marvel Universe. Because now with the introduction of the Fantastic Four, you get, of course, probably one of, if not one of the greatest villains in comic book history, the Doctor Doom, if done correctly, is still one of the most supervillains written in comic books. The second one, of course, is the introduction of Galactus, which then introduces, of course, the Silver Surfer, which then expands the shit out of the space realm for the Marvel Universe in such a great way. And then, of course, you get Franklin Richards is what probably I'd be most excited for too, just like Adrian says, which is the child of Sue Storms and Reed Richards, who happens to be one of, if not the strongest characters, the Negative Zone, the Annihilus wave. Well, Franklin Richards is probably one of the strongest mutants in the Marvel Universe. The guy is so strong that Galactus in the future comics is his herald, and he sits on top, being almost close to one of the Beyonders. The Beyonders, I mean, there's so much introduction for such great cosmic storytelling once you introduce the Fantastic Four.
I was looking up this what's going on with this director being fired. I mean, he's not being fired. They just they're saying that they parted ways. So it's kind of like the mutual,
probably creative, like a creative difference or something.
Basically, John Watts, who is actually the director of all of the Spider-Man movies. Yep. He was supposed to do the Fantastic Four movie, which had a lot of people happy and anticipating this movie. It just seems as though he got burnt out. Either he got burnt out or he was just tired of making superhero movies. He basically just put out a presser saying, I'm grateful for the opportunity, but after the success of the last one, I just need a break. So now they are looking for a new director for this movie. Kevin Feige also put out a press release saying that he was grateful for the time that John put in, but moving forward they're going to look for another director for this movie. So, and that's literally all that's been said. There's no bad blood. There wasn't any behind the scenes drama from what I can see or figure out. They just agreed to part ways. Maybe it was just time for him to go on and do other things. So
Yeah. Well, hopefully they do find someone else that is capable of making, or that someone else is capable of carrying that flag. I think, of course, a lot of comic book fans and people that are fans of Marvel, even though it's not through the comic books but directly through the films, will come together and unite against the idea that was Fantastic Four stick, right? Which was the last film. I thought the graphics were good, but the story was really underwhelming. The characters were good. It was just handled in such a horrible way. I know that the director, came out and said some stuff that he was like, I deserve my opportunity to explain what happened. I want a Snyder's cut and all of this stuff of it. And I was like, bro, I can't handle 4 hours of your film, dude. There's no fucking way you're going to have me sit through that. There's some parts that I could dig. I liked when they introduced Ben Grimm and they had him fucking jump right out of the airplane and he lands like a fucking G.
Yeah.
Like that was cool. Yeah, other than that, I mean, I wasn't too impressed. I was when they gender bent, not gender bent, when they race swapped Johnny Storm, there was a lot of people that were against it. Me, myself, I knew that what's his face? What's his name?
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan, when he was going to do the role, I know that he's a really, really great actor. I just didn't know how it was going to be that they were going to pull off the idea of having it. And then they did the stepbrother thing. They did like half brother work. And I was like, okay, let me see what else. And yeah, it worked. It worked for me, man. He did an amazing job. He sold the role. He played it very well. Then again, like, I mean, it's fucking Michael B. Jordan. You know what I mean? Like, you can make that guy put any role and he's gonna fucking knock it out of the park.
Except for that one. That movie sucked, bro.
No, he did fucking fantastic as Johnny Storm. You don't think he did good as Johnny Storm?
I hate that movie.
Him compared to Chris Evans.
I didn't like him. I didn't like either one of them. It's like asking me to
two choices we got for live action.
Listen, fuck that. I'll just say I don't take either one of them. Fuck them. They both suck.
So you didn't even subscribe to the older Fantastic Four movies?
I honestly thought Chris Evans did a better job. Chris Evans was a lot funnier. Chris Evans was a lot funnier as Johnny Storm. I mean, he was a lot funnier.
Okay.
And I like the banter between him and
Ben Grimm.
And Ben, I like that banter.
Really good in the older.
Like films. That was good. Like that was like, to me, that's what kind of
natural too.
That's what kind of held the movie together, was that banter between those two.
I mean, but even the aspect of it, the guy they chose for Ben Grimm, that was literally him out of the makeup. He did such an amazing job as that character through and through. Like, yeah, I think you're right with that. That's gonna be the banter between those two characters was what pretty much made that movie.
Absolutely.
Like the Reed Richards dancing and, Jessica Alba being Sue Storm. Like, I mean, it was all right, but yeah, Johnny Storm and Ben Grimm, possibly the best thing of that film.
It was.
Best thing, I would say. But yeah, that's probably the thing that I would be most excited for when it comes to seeing the Fantastic Four come to the big screen. I think those are the things that we get to be excited for, which is Galactus, Silver Surfer, and of course the best villain ever, Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom would be amazing. I think that's probably going to be one of the greatest villains that we get on screen one day. Doctor Doom.
He's coming.
I really, really hope so. I mean,
and I heard like he's coming like as soon as like Black Panther 2, which I kind of hope is a real thing. I kind of feel like it's oh,
that's right. There was like a rumor that he might be like, since he's the emperor of Latveria.
Yeah, so he's and spoiler alert, if just in case this ends up being
does,
true,
yeah, just in case it pops out, guys.
I'm sorry. But there is
what Nostradamus this shit.
Yeah, but I did hear that like the Neymar, your boy, isn't actually going to be the villain of Black Panther 2. That actually there's going to be a puppeteer, dangling the strings or whatever, and it is rumored that it's going to be none other than Mr. Victor Von Doom.
That would be pretty good.
Yeah,
that would be pretty fucking good. I'd subscribe to that shit in a heartbeat. I think that sounds like a great story. Like Namor, 100%. I think I've told you about this before. He's a douchebag. Like in the Marvel universe, he's 100% about himself and his people. Like he don't give a shit about no one. The
But
only other person that he believes in is
even as a casual comic book reader, you know that. Like you know that there's a certain swag that comes with Prince Namor, and that you know, he's out for self and out for his people. And if you don't fall under one or of the two of those branches, then it's like fuck you. Then it's war. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I could subscribe to that story. I'd be really hyped about that. Because then at the very end, you know, Namor would probably do some shit where he was like, oh, he could control me all he wants. I don't give a fuck. Just leave me alone. I still hate you all. Like, you know what I mean? Like he would still be the piece of shit dude, like leaving that whole entire aspect.
Yeah.
You know what though? One person that I would be, and people in the comment section, if you know this, dude, you gotta let me know what's up.
What's up?
One person that I would be really, really fucking hyped to see in the next couple of movies is Owen Reese, the Molecule Man. I think if I fucking get an Owen Reese, like at least some type of nod in the next couple of films, dude, this is gonna be my phase. Owen Reese, the Molecule Man.
Okay.
Like that if we get an Owen Reese, I will guarantee that we're gonna get a fucking a Secret Wars.
Well, I think we're getting that anyway. Because
if we get an Owen Reese, that means 100% we get a Beyonder. We have a Tesseract, which, you know, Owen Reese comes from, kind of that stuff. So getting a Beyonder is probably the next biggest deep cut in the Marvel lore that we can get, which is like a dude equivalent to God, but is mischievous. Like, you know, he just does whatever we want. But to me, I think Owen Reese would probably be the next. Like, I would be like in an oh shit mode if we were getting Owen Reese. I'd be like, that would be the first time you see me buy a ticket really, really early. Like, you know, 100% I'm gonna get that ticket.
So wait, let me get this straight. So the only thing that's gonna make you pop, for anything
Hyperion,
in the MCU is Hyperion,
Sentry, Owen
Molecule
Reese.
Man. Okay, gotcha. So, oh wait, no, you're lying, because if fucking Miles Morales comes out.
Nah, I'm not that big of a fan. Hey, man, dude,
fuck out of here. Are you kidding me?
Look,
what are you talking about, bro?
The only thing about Miles
no.
That's because you mentioned him this time.
No, you have mentioned this kid, and like there has to be like a consecutive episode count. And I said I was gonna like keep tally, but I didn't. But there has to be like a 10 episode. There's gotta be like a 10 episode count where you mention that kid's name. So you can't sit here and tell me you wouldn't fucking fan out if he showed up in a movie. Like, well, that's like all your dreams coming true.
Okay, so I think I've already told you this. I'm not like a big Spider-Man fan, but I thought it was a fresh take on, because I was so tired of like the Clone Wars shit. And I think it was right on the cusp of the Spider-Verse and the introduction of Miles Morales that I was like, okay, cool. Like I can be behind this because it's something fresh. Yeah. Spider-Man's done with all of this other stuff. I would rather go with them bring in a whole new character trying to live up to that mantle rather than them clone another fucking Spider-Man. Like it's just what it was. I'm very disappointed in how they've handled the Miles Morales character in recent comic book iterations. Yeah. I don't think they know what to do with him yet. And they haven't really found like his cemented story in the Marvel world. That's the whole thing that I'm hoping that the Marvel movies do in the next couple of years for these characters. Okay. That's really it. I mean, if we get into the nitpicking part of it, the Miles Morales story came out very close to when Jane Foster, this one right here, her story came in of taking the Thor mantle. So a lot of people were against these characters coming in and taking mantles of characters that had already been done.
Yeah.
And they were kind of like the forefathers to those characters. They really had an opportunity for it. Some of them hit, some of them didn't. A lot of filler episodes, just like animes. Some of them just didn't work, and some of them hit really cool.
Yeah.
But of course, like when the first negative ones hit, That was 100% where all the people that were against it gripped onto it, saying that it was going to be a complete failure. Look at what it's done. And from there, they never let it go. I feel like Miles' character has had some good runs and some bad runs. I really enjoyed him in Battle World, in Secret Wars, the end run. I think it was very, very cool. But yeah, I'm really excited to see what they're going to do with him in the films. I think it's going to be another historical cinematic moment when they bring him out. I think it's going to be fantastic. I think they're still looking for an actor, and I'm about that waiting time, man. I'm really excited. I'm more concerned.
You said nah, man. This is not the type of energy I'm expecting you to have, bro. Like this is
well,
like
not right now.
Miles.
The
This is the
reason
guy.
why
This is the guy that you've been asking for like the past like literal year.
I have a purpose, and the only reason why I'm this way is because of how Sony has been handling the movies. I do not want Sony to handle that movie that way.
You're fucked, bro.
Yeah, we are 100%.
No, you're fucked because you want to see this guy so bad, and you forget that he's in. So let me ask you a question. So you hear about like all of these, like we just heard like Bad Bunny's getting a spin-off movie, right? Like all of these obscure
weird characters
are getting spin-off movies and TV shows. Like, how does it make you feel knowing that it still may be like a year or two before we even get Miles Morales? Like,
I'm cool on the wait. I'm cool on the wait. After seeing Morbius, I'm cool on the wait.
You don't think that with Sony by doing this, it'll kind of dilute even more your anticipation for Miles Morales? Because it's like, all right, because right now you already know that we're depending on Sony to bring justice to Miles Morales, right? We don't have faith, you and I collectively, we don't have faith in Sony.
Yeah, nope.
So do you think like by the time they finally get around to Miles Morales, we're not gonna give a fuck? Like we're just gonna be like, all right, dude, like whatever.
Well, that's the thing. I think the Spider-Man films are gonna suffer just like the way the first Batman film suffered. And I think it's the world building process. And once they get it situated, it should be okay when they start coming together against other characters. So right now we saw the Morbius film that no one asked for, and it was okay, but it wasn't fantastic. Yeah. You know, we've seen both the Venom 1 and the Carnage film. And I think you and I can both agree, and some of the people in the comment section can agree that those films were 100% trash, and they were just cash grabs because they were like, yo, this guy's a popular character. We need him out because he sells toys, he sells tickets, he sells shirts. We can make him another character like Spider-Man. We can make millions on it. Do we need to make his story compelling? Not really. But we can make it work. I really think that's what it is. But once we get a Spider-Man versus is when these movies are going to start to be golden. They're going to really have to really stake their claim in the world.
Why do you think that?
Because all of these films are kind of throwaways without Spider-Man in it.
All right, I'm glad that you touched on this. Let's just slow it down for a second. So ultimately what I think they're trying to do is pull away with whatever connection they have with to Marvel, right?
Yeah.
So now they're left to their own devices. They're left to their own studios, their own directors, their own creativity, right? Personally, I think the success of whatever success Spider-Man has gotten has been the fact that it's been connected to the MCU.
To the Marvel U. Yeah, the Marvel.
You take that away, now you don't have a Kevin Feige somewhat involved, or you don't have the Marvel MCU involved, writing, creative, whatever little bit of influence they might have had, that's gone, and you're left to the people that gave you. Okay, so Disney's Marvel MCU excluded, you only have Venom and Morbius to go off of. That's not a good track record.
That's not at all.
Like this the Spider-Man shit has worked because I'm not afraid to say it. The Spider-Man shit has worked because the Disney MCU company has had
Carried
shit
it.
to do with it.
They got their back hurt.
Yeah. They didn't, I won't say they carried it, but they did have a vision that contributed to the success of that. You take them out of it, I don't think they have the same success. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, look at literally like on the cusp of it. Like you had No Way Home, and then Morbius, like literally being filmed around the same time. And 100% Morbius by itself, there's no way. There's no way. But No Way Home was, off the chain compared to it. You had a small, I would say fairly a small cameo with Doctor Strange. Fairly a lot smaller than what we thought it was going to be. But it being that connected to the Marvel Universe, a lot of people were hyped about it. And then, of course, they had their nostalgic bait, which worked very well too.
Yeah.
But when you took Morbius and you put it all in its own world and you did its own thing, and then you tried to add the Vulture to it, dude, so many people just were disappointed with that whole Vulture scene. Like trying to take a character from the MCU and throw him into like the Sonyverse by itself.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many people knew about this, but before the Morbius movie came out, Andrew Garfield was approached about coming out in it and being a part of that universe, and he denied it. He denied being a part of it or wanting to be a part of it.
Sure,
he had already said,
like he had to, though, right?
Huh?
Sure that he had to, right? He couldn't.
No, he
say
said he
that.
didn't want to be a part of that universe. Like he didn't want to be in that universe as Spider-Man. Like he denied wanting to be in it. Like that was before that movie came out. The director even came out.
So Andrew Garfield came out and said
was approached and said that they wanted him to be a part of Sony's Spider-Verse, to be the main character, and you were going to be fighting the Vulture, Morbius, and Venom. And he was like, nah, I don't want it. I'm already making bigger movies. That doesn't sound good.
He's not, though.
Yeah, the last couple of movies he's been doing are pretty solid. Well, during that time,
name his last movie. Name his last movie that did not have Spider-Man in it.
Oh, dude, they're not. I mean, but then again, he's not making the money Tom Holland was.
It's not the point. What I'm saying is he's not doing anything bigger than what Spider-Man can offer him.
Yeah, I want to say
he's not.
Let's see what
was his last. Yeah, exactly. You have to Google this shit.
Hacksaw Ridge. Tick Tick Boom. That was on what, Netflix or some shit?
I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't watch it. I don't watch any of this guy's films.
Safe to say he's not burning up the fucking charts with any of his movies, bro. Like, I mean, and you know what? This is a great fucking topic. Like, some of these actors, bro, like, sometimes I understand it. Like, you want to do other things, but why break it if it's not, like, why fix it if it's not broke, bro?
But why jump into the Sonyverse when you know the trash record it's got?
Because it's a payday, and honestly, you can help it be better. Hopefully, like you can have a shit script or a script honestly, I don't know, because they're really bad over
fucking
there.
Tom Hardy, really, dude. Like Tom Hardy's a badass. The dude's an acting genius. You know, he's fucking amazing at everything he touches, and he cannot save the Venom universe. He can't save the Venom movies.
Well, that shit's written poorly, and Tom Hardy isn't a great actor. So it's like,
Tom Hardy's a great fucking actor.
Tom Hardy?
Yeah, Tom Hardy's an amazing actor.
Name one great movie he's been in. Who?
Bronson. When he played Charles Bronson. He played Charles Bronson. Never saw it. That's a great fucking movie if you haven't seen it. Fucking Fighter, dude. He was barely adding new words and it was amazing. Fighter. That was not a good movie. You didn't like Fighter? I mean, I liked it. It wasn't a great movie. I liked it because I liked that type of shit. But it doesn't make him a fucking great fucking actor. Like, that movie was not great. Like, let's not put extra sauce on Tom Hardy's name. Like, again, Venom is the best thing that's happened to him. The same thing with Andrew Garfield. Spider-Man is the best thing that fucking happened to him. The same thing with Tom Holland. Spider-Man is the best thing that fucking happened to him. So
why not milk that? Why fix it if it's not? I get it. You're an actor. You wanna try different
higher
things,
quality,
and I guess you wanna venture out. But in the mix of that, don't be like, well, I don't want to. Like, it's your bread and butter, dude. It revives and it makes careers. I dare Robert Downey Jr. say something bad about playing Iron Man. I dare him. I dare him.
Well, dude,
I dare Chris Evans. I dare Chris Evans say anything bad about playing Captain America.
Well, they're not saying
and
anything
Chris Hemsworth. We're not even saying that, but just saying, like, I just don't want to do it anymore. Why? Chris Hemsworth did his 3, and he'll do another 3 because
because he loves that role. It's taking care of him.
Role, and not only that, but it's the role that he was meant to play. Dog, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but like you look at it right now, you look at the way Tom Holland handled the last movie where he was like, well, I think I'm done for now. I want to retire and do all this other stuff. You look at Chris Evans, and he literally said the same thing after doing the last films about Captain America, that he doesn't really want to return to it anymore. Even if they offered him something, he's like, nah, I'm already pretty much done with it. So like, but yeah, that goes against everything you just said about those 2 characters you brought up.
Can we highlight this question from John? I don't know if
which one, John?
Yeah.
I can't bring it up though. It won't let me.
So it says, I'm going to try to read it, and hopefully I convey it the way that he wished for it to be read. So John Castillo says, so Brian, you, or if you were Sony/MCU, would you rather have a good paycheck instead, or a quality story movie? So I'm assuming you mean if I was an actor working for either Sony or the MCU, would I rather go for the paycheck or the quality of movie? Yeah. You can say that about anything. You can say that about any. It doesn't have to be down to either Sony or MCU. That would just be a question for an actor, period. But personally, what I would do, I would go for the paycheck. Any of the main actors in the MCU, I can't say that they've looked foolish by picking these movies. Would you say that? Like, do you think like it was a smart choice for all of them between Scarlett Joe and Robert Downey and Chris Evans and Chris Hemsworth and Mark Ruffalo and all of these people that have chosen the MCU? They haven't made them look stupid, so I'm not worried about the quality of the movie. And we were kind of touching on this earlier in pre-production, that the movies are only getting better. Those earlier movies were kind of trash if you look at them back, like compared to the quality of the movies now. Now they're worried about the Oscar. I still think
that's a really awkward argument, because you're comparing them to the movies now after all of those films laid the base of the franchise. And even, but I'm basing it.
I get that. But the basis of it, the blueprint of it, was having a fun comic book movie. Mm-hmm. All those early movies, that's where they were.
But comparing it to what at that time?
I'm explaining to you right now. They're comparing it to the fact that the early movies were fun comic book movies. They wanted to be comic booky. They wanted to be fun. The first Avengers that you named, it was a fun movie. Was it written well? No. It's a shit fucking movie. The premise of it was basic as fuck. There was nothing special about it. There was nothing special about the writing in the first Iron Man. There was nothing special about the writing. Well, no, actually, Captain America, the writing on the first one, that was probably the best out of the trilogy. That one was written the best one. Thor, it was written horribly.
Yeah, that was bad.
But it progressed into what it is now. Now, Elizabeth Olsen is up for an Emmy. Now, the designs, the choreographies are up for Oscars, and Black Panther is winning for scores and and it's getting progressively better. So when you say that you can't compare, I think you can. Like the quality, you think the quality of the movies were better in the beginning, and I wholeheartedly disagree. I respect your opinion on that, but it's just evolution. Evolution happens in every space of the universe. This just so happens to be it. It's evolution. The movies now they are more focused on making better movies now than they were before. Before they were just making fun comic book movies, which we were fine with. We were fine with them. But they had to elevate and into what we're seeing now. This movie that's coming out next week, this Doctor Strange movie is going to be a perfect example of that shit. Like, it's the thing that the thing that ultimately interests me in this movie in the beginning was I heard that Sam Raimi was going to make this into a horror
film.
So it's like, all right,
I don't even see the trailers looking like a horror film
because they had to scrap it. It's a Disney movie. They can't have a full blown Sam Raimi horror. You can't do that. So, but I'm saying that was a different take. Now you're getting Sam Raimi in to have Sam Raimi is gonna make a better movie than whoever the fuck made the first Captain America movie or the first Iron Man movie. Like he's just gonna do it. So that's what I mean when I say like I think the movies now are more advanced and more focused on being better written movies and more better told movies than previously.
Well, they had to break that mold back in the day because comic book movies were scrutinized as children's films. So like a lot of people in the movie industries didn't even consider them for awards or anything like that. Where nowadays, you can literally put these films against any other type of film. In fact, they're doubling in box numbers that any other film that's getting awards is doing. So they have to add them into those realms of getting awards to be able to get some of that cash. So for what it's worth, I think I told you to pass the time at work, what I've been doing is I've been going back and slowly going through the Marvel universe again, going all the way back to the very beginning. And I can genuinely say there is an appreciation for film when it comes to those early films where you can tell that these people that when they first made all of these films in the very beginning they really had to break that mold that these movies were going to be something bigger. And I know that, you were saying earlier, like you think they're not very good anymore for what they're worth. In the sense of, comparing them to the newer films. But, Robert Downey Jr. taking that chance and making that film of Iron Man and Kevin Feige and, Stan Lee and all of those guys coming together and saying like, hey, give us a chance and we're going to give you a chance and we're going to do our best with this.
Not to say, I don't want you to put words in my mouth. Not to say that they weren't good. They just,
comparing to nowadays films.
Yeah, and I even like those earlier movies. What I'm saying is they just weren't written well. Like they weren't. You can tell that there just wasn't the level of care that it is now. Let's just say that.
I think that's because of the way the industry has matured with the growth of these films. I think with the first two phases when they brought out Infinity War and Endgame. That was probably one of the biggest things in cinematic history to happen in the last 20, 30 years. So for them to be able to pull something like that off and get that many actors of that caliber and pull them off on screen and get that type of CG work and all that stuff, like that is not going to get topped in movie cinema history, probably until we get James Cameron's, next Avatar film. I'm pretty excited for that guy because everything that guy makes is masterful when it comes to storytelling and cinematics and everything. So apparently we're going to get a trailer for that Doctor Strange 2. Apparently we're going to get our first trailer for the next Avatar film part 2. And
you're in that movie. Yeah.
I'm super excited about that. But for us to be here and to be getting what we're getting in the next week, I'm only excited from where it goes from here on out.
Yeah, me too.
I'm truly fucking excited. Truly excited. what is it? John says, I get what Brian is saying. The story, the CG, the actors started as rough drafts. And yes, the stories evolved, gained momentum, and now better technology and a better formula. I don't know, man. After seeing that Thor trailer, I've been a little salty.
So I kind of wanted to ask you. I kind of want to ask you a question. You said that you went back in time and started watching all of the original MCU movies.
I literally just saw Avengers today, the first one.
All right. So how do those, besides, because I know how you feel about Iron Man, how does it age? Was there a movie that you kind of rewatched that kind of like you said, holy shit, like I forgot how good this movie, and this is like, let's stop the conversation we're having now, because you already know how I feel about the early movies, but you personally, like, was there a movie that you saw and you were like, yo, this was a lot better than I originally thought, or that you enjoy watching even to this day? Like,
Iron Man 2.
Oof, okay.
Iron Man 2. I think I'll tell people this is on my fucking deathbed, that when what's his face Whiplash is on the racetracks and he starts
iconic moment,
dude, and then Iron Man puts the suitcase on the suit, I will die on that bed saying that that's probably some of the greatest CG I had ever seen in a film of that time, and probably one of the greatest action scenes I've seen to this day in a Marvel film. That whole entire scene when he chops the car like in two pieces and he's just walking and he's whipping. And I 100% thought the passing of that character in the movies was really, really too quick, and they could have revisited that character. I hope that he makes a return in Armor Wars. I think he would be a great comeback character to come back to. There's also Hammer, that dude, Jeremy Hammer or whatever his name was. I forgot his name.
Justin Hammer. I think he's coming.
Justin Hammer, yeah. I think he's going to probably be in Armor Wars, more than likely. He's a great character to bring back, and he's a great actor. But yeah, I feel like Iron Man 2 is really slept on. Like, I think overall it's a fun movie. Introduction of War Machine. Like,
it didn't do bad. I mean, I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at the Rotten Tomatoes. It's got a 72% fresh tomato from the critics, and it's got a 71% audience score. So that's not bad. I mean, I actually liked Iron Man 2. I think the kid shit was a little bit. That was the one with the kid, right? With the little kid.
No, that's 3.
That's 3, right?
Yeah, that's the Extremis one.
All right. 2 was decent.
Yeah, 2.
I liked it better than the first one. I'm not a big fan of Iron Man 1. I'm just not a big fan. There was like maybe like the first like 10, 15, 20 minutes of it were dope. Like him getting attacked, that shit was dope.
Yeah.
Everything after that I could have done without. But Iron Man 2 is my favorite out of the trilogy, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. Yeah, Hammers was Adrian puts in the comments, Hammers was kind of lame. Yeah, in that film he was pretty lame. He was underutilized. And I hope that they use him more in the next one, Armor Wars. But yeah, I think in the like going back to the films, like, man, even with the Avengers movie, when I just noticed it today, when watching the Avengers films, I got to the scene where they're interrogating Black Widow, right? The Russian guys. And then they bring her into SHIELD and they're talking about how they were in that one. What do they keep on referencing? The Hawkeye always mentions it. Oh, it's always like this, isn't it? Bermuda or something. I forgot what it is. Do you remember that or no? What's that one place that they always reference in Scarlet Witch, not the Scarlet Witch, Black Widow's thing, where Hawkeye's always like, oh man, this is like Bangladesh or whatever.
Oh, Budapest,
right? In that scene, when they're talking about the Budapest scene, well, they use that shot, which is the later fight scene in the Avengers movie. They used it as like an introduction to like her and him being friends, but they just cut it literally right out of the final scene in the Avengers movie. That makes sense. Do you know what I'm talking about or no?
I know what you're talking about. Where are you taking me?
No, I'm just saying, like, I just thought that was kind of funny because, like, it was such a weird little, like, fuck it, we don't have a lot of time. Let's just throw this in there as something. They took like the ending scene where Hawkeye and Black Widow are helping Captain America in the final fight for New York.
Yeah,
they just took that scene of them fighting together and put it as this is Black Widow and Hawkeye. They used to be friends way earlier in the film, like before the war even took place in New York. And I was like, what the fuck? Why are they using that scene? I don't know. It was just like little going back and looking at like little quotes. I guess like what I wanted to do is I wanted to go back and see if there were any of these random little Easter eggs, like bringing in future endeavors that the Marvel universe was bringing in the next 10 years. I wanted to go back and just spot all the little Easter eggs.
Okay.
And I ended up just finding some little corny ones instead. But
so let me ask you a question. If you were to take a guess on which Iron Man under the trilogy, which one had the better Rotten Tomato score, which one would you think it was?
Oh shit. A better one would probably be the first one.
Okay. And then the second?
3.
Spot on.
Did I get it?
You got it.
Yeah.
So apparently to Rotten Tomatoes, even the audience scores.
Tell you, man.
How was Iron Man 2? How was Iron Man 2 worse than Iron Man? Iron Man 3 is one of the worst MCU movies ever made.
Definitely. Next to Ant-Man.
I like Ant-Man.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Ant-Man. I think
it was funny.
Character.
Like,
yeah, it was funny.
If it wasn't because it was funny, it would definitely be one of the worst. But it was funny enough. It was funny.
Dude. It really brought Adrian put in the comments. I loved when Hawkeye was mind controlled by Loki. He destroyed the Avengers. Yo, that man single-handedly fucking took out Shield, like in a ship with a bow and arrow, dude. Like that was the bonkers shit I had ever seen. I thought it was so good. The first Avengers movie when he goes into the tower, like that whole scene when they trap Loki, they get him all trapped and he's in the case and he's messing with the Hulk. Like all of that scene was so like, it was so crazy dramatically done. And even the way Mark Ruffalo is portraying himself to be Banner, because they hadn't introduced the Hulk before, like in any of the movies, like you could feel it. You could feel it in that film because, you know, when this movie came out, nobody had ever seen the Hulk before. So during that time was all the build up to the reveal of what the Hulk looked like. Even that first shot when he turns around to see Natasha and it's the mixture of Mark Ruffalo and the CG Hulk face. Like everything was so systematically done to be perfectly executed to be a great movie.
Well, I know going into the movie, we had already seen him in the previews. I remember.
Yeah, of course. I remember, like the running in the room.
Yeah, he was in the preview, so we knew what he looked like, and that's what kind of, for me personally, that's what sold it, was that he looked good as the Hulk. So I was like, yeah, I'm on board. But no, I do understand what you mean. Like, that was the first iteration of the current Hulk that we got. And it didn't disappoint. Just to go back, like I find this very interesting because I think it's good to like go back and like look at this shit, like how some of these movies did. Like it was
refreshing, man, to go back and check them out.
Iron Man was it came out in 2008. Got a 94% fresh tomato, dog.
And Iron Man was probably one of the most best movies, man, going around.
That,
and I know it's hard to remember. That's kind of what it is it's hard to go back to.
I've watched it. The thing that you did, I did that like last year. Like I went from start and started from the beginning just to make sure that I felt the same way that I felt about these movies. And Iron Man, it's just for some reason again, like the first half hour is chef's kiss, is dope. But then you kind of lose me a little bit after that. And the better one that I thought out of the three is actually the worst scored.
So you like the
Like that
second
one is I like the second one. It's got a
the second one was
72.
pretty good.
It's got a 72% fresh tomato. But Iron Man 3, which I thought I could have been asleep during that entire fucking movie and I would have felt no different. That's got like almost an 80% fresh tomato. Like that shit makes no sense to me. Just off of what they did to the Mandarin alone, deserved something lower than Iron Man 2.
So why do you think that is like the scoring's like that?
I don't know though. See, I only take the critics rating, but so far, but the audience score is what really sticks out to me. That one was even rated higher than Iron Man 2. Maybe people just don't like Iron Man 2. I liked it, man. I liked it.
I think for what it's worth, the first film had a great development for the character of Tony Stark. And the character of Iron Man as a superhero.
Fresh tomato. Come on, guys. Iron Man was not that good. Come on.
And that's because if you think about it, if you go back in time, historically in streaming services, Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3 both debuted before Iron Man 1. You couldn't find Iron Man 1 in any of the streaming services. You only had to rent it or buy it. Like both the sequels both came out prior for free on the streaming services. Even when it came to the Marvel app on Disney, you couldn't find Iron Man 1 first.
What is that supposed to mean?
Because people believed it to be a masterpiece, and the only way to see it was to buy it, which was the same thing as Spider-Man. Like the Spider-Man films, that's why it's hard to find those on streams, because the company believes those to be top elite films that they would rather have you pay every time.
You couldn't rent Iron Man?
Nope. You could rent it, yes, but you couldn't stream it anywhere. It wasn't available for stream, which means every time you wanted to watch it, you had to buy it. You had to purchase money to see it. They believed in it so much. And the numbers showed you.
At that point in 2008, where were you going to see it? It was there
Netflix,
was no streaming platforms before Netflix, and Netflix didn't have the MCU movies at that point.
No. They had the Disney app was available, and this is prior. This is after
the Disney app was available in 2008.
No, not in 2008. But even when all the streaming services were coming out, the Iron Man movie was still not available for stream.
Yeah, it was when Disney Plus came out. Yeah, it was when Netflix started having all of the MCU movies.
It was not there.
Okay,
well, I mean, the only one that was not available.
All right, I see what you're saying. I'm just gonna give a little bit of pushback because like it was only maybe like a year or two that Netflix had MCU movies before Disney Plus came out. Mm-hmm. And then that's when you can get Iron Man. Like I get what you're saying, and I understand you're trying to lobby for Iron Man as a good movie.
Not at all. I think for what it was at the time, it did some really great things. And I can see where I mean, you could think I'm lobbying, but the numbers show it, man. That it really is a great film.
All right, I'll take your word for it. I will
and the rest of Rotten Tomatoes words, man.
Nah, fuck them. Like they were drunk. I don't know what they were.
Tomatoes listen, and the audience, man.
Listen, I don't know what they were watching. I don't know what they were listening to, but that movie does not deserve a 90. Listen, a 94 fresh tomato. Like it's that good. Like that's like one of the best movies of all time.
I will tell you 100%. The fight scene at the ending of that movie is easily forgettable. Easily forgettable.
Listen, after the first hour, the whole movie is forgettable. That's what I'm saying. Like it just gets progressively worse. Like there's no way that you can tell me that a movie, the peak of that movie is in the first 30 minutes of the fucking movie, bro.
Just
tell me I'm wrong.
Are you talking about like the cave scene and
everything that led to him?
You didn't like the hero journey for him when he gets back? He turns himself in, he starts doing all the Iron Man stuff. You didn't like any of that?
I didn't like No, you kind of lost me because you started like hot. Like you start hot on in Iron Man. Like you started fast and you started good. But then I don't know what it was. It's just something within like the first, like after the first hour that took me out of the movie. I don't know what it was. Like I still like the movie. I could sit here and watch Iron Man with anybody. But was it my favorite Iron Man? No, it's not. The second one, I like the second one better. The pacing was a lot better. But then again, in arguing against myself, it was an origin story. So you kind of got to give it the leeway in that as well. So I don't know. I just think that giving it a 94 is kind of wild. I don't see that, but I mean, who am I? Right? I'm not a critic, so obviously it's I'm the minority. I'm the one that's wrong.
You're like, I'll take it myself.
Fuck it.
Apparently, 90%, 94% of the world thinks you're wrong.
Yeah, it is what it is.
How do you feel? Tell me about how you feel about this today.
Anyone in the chat, listen, this just can't be me, right? Am I bugging? I want the chat to let me know. Am I bugging? Like, is
Madeline? She's like, LOL, the debate regarding these movies are definitely interesting. Definitely.
It's my homegirl. Yeah, and anyone in the chat, I want to know what your favorite Iron Man is, and if I'm bugging, let me know. We spent a lot of time on this, so yeah.
That's a good question. And this goes out to you too, Madeline. We see you. You're out there hanging out in the YouTube area, the YouTube part of the world. Out of all three, the Iron Man 1, 2, and 3 films, which one is your favorite and why?
I would love to know what Madeline's favorite Iron Man is.
Yeah.
I'd love to know.
I mean, I agree with you though when it comes to that. I think Iron Man 2 was overall just a more fun movie.
It was.
Yeah, and I don't even know why, but like off the top of my head, like the color correcting of the film, like the visuals of the film, everything was a lot better. I think the last film dealt a lot with this weird emotional break in Tony Stark. He healed his thing at the end. He blew up all his Iron Man. I really didn't understand the ending of that film. I think the villain of that film was very underutilized in the third film. And I think it was just a throwaway film. It was more of them destroying the character of Tony Stark just so they can rebuild him in the next one.
And that's the reason why I don't like take this Rotten Tomato shit into account. I don't give a fuck about it because like there's no way.
Rotten Tomatoes is not the best thing.
There's no way. It's not a good barometer. It's not a good gauge. Like there's no way that you could tell me that Iron Man 3 is a better movie than Iron Man 2. No way. Sorry.
Yo, and then this goes out to everybody in the comment section. We're just two average dudes. That's the whole point of our show. We're just giving our point. And I'm not trying to act like no professional to tell you what's a great film or what's not. But don't believe in Sony. Don't believe in Sony and don't think they make good films.
I don't give a fuck what you hear, what you say. Just don't believe in Sony. Like Brian, that's never gonna happen, sir.
Brian, my boy, that's always right. Before we answer, because we got a couple people saying what they really dig for the movies, the Iron Man films. Right. Tell me about your experience rewatching the Batman.
You had to just to make yourself so you just had to create yourself some happiness, didn't you? Like, dude, you were just so like you had to.
When I heard you write that shit, I was like, I told
you. All right. So as you know, sir, and I'll let the people in on a little bit of story. So yeah, we were in the chat. And that just so happened. So now, the Batman is available to stream on HBO Max.
Yep.
So excellent shit. I was like, you know what? I enjoyed this movie the first time watching it. Let me watch it again and see, if it still hits the same. Because, you can have a great experience when you're watching a movie. And then when you watch it again, it doesn't have the same effect because of suspense is already spoiled or you already know what's going to happen, etc., whatever. I watched that movie and I was insanely bored out of my mind watching that movie. Like it quickly turned into just background noise which sucks because I liked that movie the first time I watched it.
That movie was rough, man.
Like, I'll keep it to myself what I was doing while I had it in the background. But I'm just saying, like, it just definitely just does not hit the same after the first time you watch it. Like, the rewatch value is horrible on that movie. It's
okay,
horrible.
So like we got Adrian in the comment, new guy to the post. The movie was cool. There were some bad parts about it. There were some good parts. Me myself, I wasn't a big fan of it. I think it could have been done better. Brian thought it was great. He was a fan of it for the first time. But I have to ask you in the comment section also, if you've had the opportunity to rewatch it on stream, does it feel the same or did it lose its drive? Because I attempted to watch it a second time in the aspect of coming in saying, I mean, dude, I fucking love comic books. I don't give a fuck if it's a bad movie or not. I'm going to rewatch it about 1 million fucking times because I like fucking comic books. I love this shit too. Like, I love it. I love it. In fact, it's so fucking weird. I saw Kick-Ass 1 like literally like last week while building cosplay because I needed inspiration and I wanted to see Nicolas Cage's fucking Batman. Like, that's literally why I watch. I don't know if you've ever had the opportunity to see Kick-Ass, Brian.
Are you kidding me?
It's good, right? I fucking love that. And then
they're coming out with another one.
Part 3?
Part 2.
They did part 2. No, they already did part 2. That's the one with Jim Carrey.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, they did that one. That was fucking bonkers. The comic book is way wild.
They're making another one. I know that for a fact. But yeah, no, the original Kick-Ass was dope. I liked. I mean, we don't have to go into a deep dive into this, but yeah, I'm a fan of the original Kick-Ass. Yeah, and
I had to go back and I had to rewatch it again. So, same thing with yesterday. I was just watching Batman the second film, so I could see Heath Ledger as the Joker. Because to me, by far, that movie is a masterpiece on by itself. Like, my favorite scene is literally the scene where Heath Ledger is talking to all the crime bosses, and he's like, "Yo, I want to see a magic trick," and he puts a pencil, and he's like, "Bam!" He slams the guy. Dude, that whole scene, I love all of that stuff. I rewatched it again, like for the umpteenth time yesterday. But last week I decided to try to sit it down and rewatch The Batman. And yeah, it was man, it's hard. It was really hard to watch.
It was kind of upsetting to me because, like, I again, out of the two of us, I did have
higher marks, man.
I had higher marks and I had some positive things to say about the movie. And it just seems as though because I knew what was going to happen and that it leaned so much on the suspense of the movie.
Robert.
It
He's
just
like Chris loved it. Oh yeah, I fucking loved
and I
it.
feel Rob saw that movie and came into the group chat and just raved about it. Like, he raved about it. Like, and Rob. He would just listen, and I kind of like, I'm actually glad I liked it because I didn't want to be the one to come into the group chat, but like, yo, this movie fucking sucks, which you had no problem doing whatsoever. Like, you just shit all over the movie, knowing that Rob
loved to shit on movies like that. I fucking love it. I love it. I love to fucking shit on those kind of movies, man. When people are like, "Oh, this movie, it's like the greatest thing since the Q-tip." I'm like, fuck out of here, dude.
Meanwhile, Rob is just sitting here explaining to you how much this movie is just fucking amazing. It's like the greatest movie of all time. So beautiful. The best Batman of all time. Chris was just
bubbles, dude.
Chris was just stewing.
Why didn't he get arrested fucking killing so many people on the expressway? Batman didn't solve a single goddamn thing. Fucking didn't even look at the vantage point. Goddamn, I was just popping bubbles. Everything. Dude, everything. I fucked that movie up so bad. I messed that movie up so bad.
It was a group of you. It was like the whole group.
Went back to rewatch it and he couldn't get it, man. He was like, "God damn it, man." I guarantee Brian was like, "God damn fucking Chris, man. I liked this movie. I really did, man.
No. I still think it's a good movie. I just think that the rewatch value.
Jeez, dude, it's hard.
It's in the gutter.
Yo, but at the very end of the film, if you made it that far without falling asleep or changing it, could you see the world building possibility at the end of the film?
I saw it the first time. I think that there is a great world building possibilities here, but and as we know, just as of a few days ago, that it has been greenlit, as if we weren't gonna get
like if we didn't know it was gonna happen.
But yeah, the second one's coming, and the gang is staying together regardless on the rumors that Pattinson and the director couldn't get along. But when there's that much money involved, you'll get along. So don't worry about it. So yeah, the next one is coming. So you guys. I don't know what you're gonna do, because like when the next one is announced, it's going to take over, and you're just gonna be sitting there just pissed at the world for like at least 3 or 4 months as we talk about the coming out of this movie.
No, I'll be all right with it. I think I'll be more excited for the sequels.
Okay.
Yeah, because at the very end of the film, again, I thought the film itself needed to be shortened up, tightened up. That would have made it a way better film. If they didn't just elaborate on so much extension on stuff to get that airy feeling, I think that would have cleaned the movie up tremendously. And I pray to the comic book gods that there is someone out there that's got the editing capabilities that's going to edit that entire movie into a 2 hour and 25 film, drop it down and cut it into like an hour 75. And it's going to probably be like one of the best Batman movies in a long time. Like I can guarantee it, man. If they just cleaned it up, it'd be solid. It really would be solid. Well, fuck, I didn't see, but by some chance, did you see someone edit in Adam West into the Batman, the trailer?
For
that one, the Batman. They put Adam West in it.
I didn't see
I'm totally gonna show that to you after the show, and you're gonna be like, "Fuck, that is good, man. Fuck, that's good." But I said it the first time when we did the talks about the Batman, that the ending really sets up for some really great sequel feeling stuff, where you get like a really great world build, and you don't have to really push on it so much on the world building aspect, like the way this filming did. Because I know that a lot of people, I think including yourself, would say something like, dude, you really feel like Gotham's like its own thing. You feel like Gotham's like its own character or its own vibe or whatnot.
Yeah, I honestly,
I really don't think they're going to have to do that, because you're going to know it's going to be so established.
I think that was the one thing that I was mostly impressed by. Like, and it was so weird, it took me by surprise. And not to get back into the Batman, but I don't think I kind of even expressed that in the beginning. Like, the movie was cool, but I like the depiction of Gotham. Like, to me, I think that's always going to be important when you're telling a Batman story, is the vibe and the feel of Gotham. Like, Gotham is a gritty, fucked up place. And as far as I'm concerned, in my opinion, this movie was the best depiction of Gotham that I've seen that I've seen thus far. Yeah. And it's very easy to forget about Gotham when you have superheroes and villains involved, and
it's not as important.
Get lost. Yeah, you can get lost in that.
I get that.
But this movie did not take a shortcut here. Like, it made sure that you understood the severity of the situation and the surrounding area and what's going on from the beginning of the movie. As soon as the movie began, you understood. Like, even it took some time taken away from the building of Batman to show you what Gotham is like, and I did appreciate that. So for that, I liked that aspect of the movie more than anything, honestly.
One more bubble popping situation for the Batman movie, just to throw the nail in the coffin kind of thing. I like that the whole entire aspect in the beginning was him talking about how he was an established superhero there and villains were afraid of him and the shadows and all this other stuff. Right? You remember that?
Yep.
Remember that whole last speech that he has?
Yeah.
And then he walks out against those dudes in the subway, and the first question that dude asks is, "Who are you supposed to be?" I was like, "Bro, that's Batman, dude. that's the guy you guys are afraid of the shadows about." That was a whole introduction to the goddamn movie. He just had a whole speech about this.
So I see that Rob posted it in the chat, and I'm looking at it now. It's
really well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really well done. You're watching Adam West one? Oh man, dude, you checking it out already? I was gonna show it to you.
I'm watching it right now.
Good job, Rob.
Yeah, Rob's on that shit. Like,
he's always on it, man. Good stuff, brother. Good stuff. But that is such a good edit and a great video, and such a homage to the great legacy of Adam West.
And I heard Adam West is supposed to be in the or he was supposed to.
No,
he's supposed to be in the Flash.
He passed away a long time ago. How are they gonna do that?
Oh wait, I think he's supposed to CGI.
Oh, you're talking about Michael Keaton.
No, both. I think like they were supposed to have like some type of homage to Adam West. Like he's supposed to be in this area. Yeah,
I'd be about that, dude. I think it'd be pretty cool to see a nice little homage to him, like a shark repellent or something super cool.
Something like something that refers to Adam West is supposed to be going on in.
I'd be about that. Just to see the Batmobile, man.
Oof.
The old school Batmobile would be.
What's your favorite? What's your favorite Batmobile?
Michael Keaton's.
Okay.
I think it's so gorgeous, just on design by itself.
I
it's
did
like jet, dude.
Yeah, I mean, as a kid,
the Apollo was cool though. The old school Adam West one was really nice.
That was cool. I like the Christian Bale.
The Tumbler.
The Tumbler.
Yeah,
the Tumbler.
I mean, dude, for a designed vehicle,
that was tough.
That was a tank, dude.
That was tough. Man.
That was a fucking beautiful car. Me myself, I just like the sleekness of the Tim Burton designed. It literally was almost like again, one of my favorite animes being Akira. Like it literally looks like the same sleekness of that car design of that Neo Tokyo vibe, where it's like a vehicle mixed with a jet plane, like an F-16 fighter pilot. Like, you know what I mean? Like those badass like jet planes. So like seeing those like that kind of like mixture between the mechanics is so beautiful. Michael Keaton one, hands down, probably one of my greatest films. Yo, you know what? As a matter of fact, out of the old school Batman movies, which one's your favorite? That goes off with Val Kilmer and George Clooney also.
I already told you the first Batman is the Batman 89 or
Michael
what is Keaton. It? 80? Yeah, Michael Keaton. That's my favorite Batman of all time. Michael Keaton is my favorite Batman, and Batman is my favorite movie of all time. I mean, my favorite Batman of all time.
Okay,
it's not close. I think Jack Nicholson will forever be my Joker.
Best Joker.
He did. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people like Heath Ledger, and I don't.
And respectfully, he did hit the Joker very well.
Listen, I don't want to upset anybody in the chat. I think he did a good job. I still am partial to Jack Nicholson. Yeah, Jack Nicholson. But that's just where my allegiance lies. I mean, he did a great job. He didn't do anything to switch my mind. I can say that. So take that for what you want.
Yeah. Straight. Alrighty. Onwards to our last and final part of the conversation for today. My boy Brian, you're gonna hype this up so hard.
Don't throw me out there as if like the shit wasn't dope, bro. Just go ahead and introduce the shit so I can get on with my shit, bro. Let's go.
We are finally getting to our recap of episode 5 of Moon Knight. Disney has a streaming show called Moon Knight. If you have not been aware, we've been covering it every week. There's 6 episodes coming, and we are on episode 5, the season finale. Brian, your rating for this week's?
Oh, we're just gonna like go straight into it.
Yeah, because I'll let you talk about it. Yeah.
So, all right. Now, mind you, I have been harsh on the show.
Yeah,
I have not been a fan. I've not been a fan. I've had my issues with it, and most of my issues are the same as everyone else that's listening.
Thank you for jumping in, Adrian. Don't want to spoil it for you, man. Thank you so much for jumping in with us. Appreciate you, dude. See you next week.
Yeah, Friday. Next week. Yeah.
Again, we do this every Friday, 9 p.m., man. Hope to see you next week.
Definitely semi and full blown spoilers if you guys haven't watched the new Moon Knight episode. I have been harsh on the show from the beginning, from the inception and from the first episode. But this last episode was, and I don't even think I've ever given a perfect score of any of the shows so far. But this episode, Moon Knight, episode 5, is a 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. It's not even close. There has not been better acting in the MCU thus far. There has not been anything written better than that episode, movie and television wise, since ever. And if Elizabeth Olsen can get an Emmy nomination for WandaVision, then Oscar Isaac needs an Emmy nomination for Moon Knight. 1000%. And he should fucking win. Based off of this last episode alone. Now, it's been a common theme with me. It's like whenever we talk about Moon Knight, the only thing that I've been giving their props on is the acting. And the writing. That has been stellar. It's been a knockout since the first episode. I kind of want a little bit more action at some points. But when you get an episode like this episode, bro, like it's phenomenal. Like the whole, like this episode alone was a mini arc where we ultimately end up losing Steven, but that balances shit. Like he needed to find. This was a journey about peace and finding peace and being at peace with shit that he went through in his past. We all have been there in life. So there's that relatability issue right there. So it's like we have that going in your past, making things right, or at least acknowledging things as to where I am now currently and being okay with that. And that balanced out the scales, and that eventually led him into the greater pastures or whatever. And it's the whole journey was fucking amazing as far as I'm concerned. We got to see Jake. I don't know if a lot of people caught that, but that first iteration of Mark that we saw with the busted nose, that was Jake right there. Like without them calling any names, he had a different accent, he had a different demeanor. So at least I got a little bit of that. So the only thing I didn't get is the action in this episode. But when you're giving me acting and writing of that magnitude, I'm okay with it, bro. Like you can do whatever you want.
I agree. This is probably the best episode of the entire season. I think hands down, this is easily like an 8 or a 9. I think Oscar Isaac has whipped it out in this episode and put it right on the table.
Hell yeah.
He's done an amazing job for what it's worth. It's not easy, doing a split personality, much less doing 3. And then in the process, acting just amongst yourself to sell a story of 2 brothers dealing with the death of a mother. I feel it was so weird because I told you episode 3 was probably like the last one that I was going to care about. And I did not know I was going to care so much for a character I care so little about. I felt every heart tug on this episode, and I thought the writing was truly amazing. Truly, truly amazing. I really don't think this series is supposed to be about action. I really don't. I think the entire thing about this was, let us show you guys how the Marvel universe can deal with turmoil.
Yeah.
And yeah, it didn't disappoint this episode.
And not only that, not to cut you off, but that just reminded me of another point that I wanted to bring up when I was thinking about talking about this, is like, I'm okay with not getting as much action because moving forward, if what I think is the truth, and I think that they're gonna put Moon Knight with the Midnight Suns, there's going to be plenty of action.
Yeah. It'll grow. It'll grow from here. Definitely will
This,
grow from here.
like after this series, I don't know if it's gonna get picked up for another season.
I don't think so.
But I don't need any more back. Like this is it. Like you don't need any more backstory. You don't need any more introspective looks into the world of Mark Spector or anything. You don't need it's done. Like this 6 episodes series is gonna sew all that up. So now if you just want to give me nothing but Moon Knight in action, you can do that now.
Yeah, you could do that now because now I understand the backstory.
Because now you get it. You don't need anything else now.
I think you made a really good comment when you said that there has to be a balance between both characters, and there was the death of Steven and all this other stuff. But I really don't think that it's the death of Steven. I think that this is where you find out that Steven's character was used as a coping mechanism for Mark to deal with his mother's death. But with right before that, him going overboard and being dropped in the sand and all that other stuff, you hear Mark, you see Mark getting taken pretty well by the sand creatures or sand people or whatever they're supposed to be. And then you hear Steve say, well, whatever you could do, I could do because I'm the same person. So I really think Mark needed to let the idea of Steven as a coping mechanism go.
Yeah.
I think Steven is still there. I really don't think it matters he fell in the sand. I think that was just Mark imagining Steven falling because he needed to learn to let Steven go as that substitute for his younger brother.
But regardless on whether that's the case or not, just the symbolism of that, just
he needed that to balance out.
He needed that, and I appreciate that. Again, this is another
it's a really interesting way.
Exactly. Like again, this is being more than just a comic book show.
Yeah.
Like it's actually giving a fuck about how it's written and that there's actually a story here to be told. You know, it's not just about him switching into a suit and fucking somebody up. It's about like this person that has possibly more than 3 personalities. We don't know at this point. Like there's multiple personalities in this person and how he's dealing with it, and there's just so many variables with a wife and with the mom and with the why didn't the dad leave the mom? Can you explain that to me?
Oh yeah, why?
Yeah, like why did he stay with the mom?
She was an ass.
She was a piece of shit. Like why did he stay with her? Yo?
I don't know. From what I remember, I think the dad is a rabbi. So like once you kind of lock down that marriage and that type of religion, like you cannot leave.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean that would probably be the most common thing in the comic books.
But she's consistently,
she's
drunkenly
abusive.
Beating the shit out of your child.
She's abusive. Yeah, she's abusive. But you know what? Like, I was very surprised that Marvel was able to do that in the Disney landscape. Like
that was honestly that was another thing that like shocked the fuck out of me, is the fact that they went there.
Yeah,
like with her picking up the belt, like when she picked up the belt and then you could hear her beating him. Like I was surprised that
I was like, man, Disney, you really going after that cheddar, man.
Word up.
You really going for it, man. Yeah, it was impressive, man. The entire episode was pretty impressive. Even like the idea of seeing the imaginary coping mechanism that Steve's character is comforting Mark with the loss of his brother, like kind of like reassuring him that it wasn't his fault. He was young, like telling him the stuff that almost like he wanted to hear from like his parent, mother, or father character. The father, of course, being more understanding. But fuck, man, boy, did I feel that episode. It was such a heavy like feeling, man, like almost like a teary feeling when he's walking away from his mother's funeral. And he just like
down.
breaks. Yeah, he breaks down. And then all of
Yeah.
a sudden he's like, Mom, I'm lost again. And I was like, get the fuck out of here, dude. You're really trying to hurt me, aren't you? God damn it, Marvel. You're really trying to break me in this one. I felt every moment of that, man. Oscar Isaac sold the fuck out of that entire scene.
I'm telling you, bro. Like, he deserves an Oscar. Like, and I did see like a little bit of like the rumblings after the episode aired about like possibly, you know, he could be up for an Emmy or over this. He has to at least be nominated. Like, I honestly, I was an Oscar Isaac fan beforehand. I think his acting in Ex Machina, like,
yeah, the Apocalypse.
Yeah, like that. I love that movie. You've seen that movie, obviously. I love that movie. I've watched it. I actually own it. I don't own many movies just on streaming, but like I own that movie and I watch it periodically. And what he did in that movie just made me a fan automatically.
Was it specifically just him as the character that sold you in that movie, or
all right? The movie itself is phenomenal. The twist at the end was great. But no, he sold that movie for me. Everyone else was just complimentary pieces. He sold that movie for me. Him being like the multi-billionaire tech guy that basically like a Steve Jobs, but like on crack type of deal. That appealed to me, and he crushed it. But what he's doing in this show is light years beyond that. He's doing a fantastic job. He's making Moon Knight out to be not just a superhero, but like you kind of feel the weight of what he's going through. Yeah, like you feel that. So I do appreciate him for that. I appreciate him for him making me feel something for this obscure character that I had no business being glued to the TV for, but he fucking did it. And by the way, shout out to Ethan Hawke as well. He's doing a phenomenal job. He's doing a fucking phenomenal job of Haro, dude. Like everyone, like the acting is top notch, bro. Like it's great. It's great. And I'll compare this to anything on TV. Fuck it being in the category of comic book movies. I will put Oscar Isaac's portrayal of Mark Spector on the platform with anything out that's out right now. That's how confident I feel about that right now.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Adrian showed back up in the comments. I know we're still talking about the show, and he goes, I showed up real quick just to drop a cosplay suggestion. What about Morph? But the jacket hides all the different costumes. That would be really hard to do.
Gotta be like head Morph.
Adrian. I'm gonna blow the fucking roof off of it next year. You watch, dude. I'm super hype. We had South Texas Comic-Con this past week. It was a phenomenal week. Ramsey Ramirez put on such an amazing show. A lot of great people. 21,000 people showed up to this event.
Shit.
21,000. That was an amazing number. It broke numbers compared to the previous years. And it's only going to get bigger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because now the popularity is going to build it next year. I ended up building the dark helmet. I don't know if you got to see pictures. Everybody out there, you got to see them.
I saw it.
It was phenomenal. My friend Gomez Ren, she did an amazing job. She sold it. She had the whole costume. She even had the little ring that she was going around screaming at everybody. It was fantastic. But what I'm gonna do this coming year is I'm not gonna take any commissions. I'm gonna focus on building me cosplays for next year that I'm gonna win every damn competition with at that event. I'm gonna win that money next year. You watch. I'll vouch for it right now, and I'll challenge every cosplayer to bring it. Everybody to fucking bring it, because I'm gonna bring it super hard. And I'll even let you know one of my cosplays, just to let you know. For sure, I'm gonna be doing what?
Yeah, no, good.
For one, I'm gonna be doing the new Buzz Lightyear.
You did mention that to me.
That's why I posted that up today.
You did.
I'm gonna be doing the new Buzz Lightyear, but I'm gonna kind of mix it a little bit with a little bit of Doom Eternal. So I'm gonna kind of mix it a little bit, not a lot by far to make it look crazy, but just kind of a little bit of the weathering, make it look damaged, make it look darkened in some of the corners, rustic, make it look a little bit beat up and used, like he's been on some travels and shit.
Yeah.
I'm even going to put a little sound box with the Doom song in it. So when I walk around, the Doom song from the old game comes out. I'm going to make a huge fucking prop. What I'm going to attempt to make, I'll just say here, I'm going to attempt to make Kaneda's bike from Akira.
Okay.
And I'm going to make it as a prop that people can sit on and take pictures with. It's fiberglass. I can roll it into the con and roll it out of the con. That's going to be one of my cosplays also. An entire fucking motorcycle. You fucking watch, dude. I'm going to blow I'm going to let a prop win the goddamn competition. I ain't even going to have to stand there.
What's going to be the comfortability like level on this bike that you're going to be making?
What's going to be the what?
The comfortability level.
Oh, do you be able to sit on it? I'm going to make it to where people can like literally, like if you want to use it at another convention, you could rent it from me and have it at your convention as a prop. I'm going to make it, dude. It has to be comfortable, and it has to be available that anybody can take a seat and they can sit down and actually take a picture like the way Kaneda sits in it in the movies.
So what's the mobile capacity here? Like you're going to have to walk around with this thing, right?
I'm going to make it collapsible. I'm going to make it break apart. Yeah, I'm going to make it to where it can break apart, and I'm going to move it wherever I want. And then I'll be able to combine it, click it together, and then I can wheel it with the wheels that'll roll anywhere.
Really? I like it.
Yeah, I'm literally thinking of everything that I can possibly do to make this a seamless transition. Because if I'm going to make it a prop to compete with, I have to be able to put it on stage. So it can't be heavy, and it needs to be mobile, and it needs to be able to get upstairs. So I cannot make it to where it's the 17-foot motorcycle size. I have to make it collapsible. So, but yeah,
I like it. I think it's
super dope. I am gonna kill the competition next year, and I haven't quite thought of my third costume yet. Really, what I want to do is I want to do the 1990s Wolverine, the brown and tan, the tan and gold.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to do that. I have a muscle suit that I made for my All Might cosplay a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to make myself a little bit more shorter, put that on and make myself look like the built Wolverine that used to come out in the old comic books.
Are you going for like height accuracy? Like
yes. Literally height accuracy.
Come on. You don't need to make yourself. How are you going to make yourself shorter?
Well, I'm going to hunch over, dude. I'm just going to pop my shoulders up and I'm going to hunch down, man. That's the way he used to walk around. Look at the Capcom game. You don't remember fucking Capcom versus Marvel?
He's like 5 foot, right? He's like, you can't hunch over and make yourself.
5'3". 5'3". I'm like 5'6".
No,
yeah, I'm
he's
like
shorter than that.
No, he's 5'5". Go look, 5'3".
No, is he? I think he's shorter.
5'3". And he weighed like 300 pounds because of the adamantium muscles. Yeah, 5'3", my man.
Are you looking that up, or you already know that?
I already know. I'm like, dude, I'm freaking looking at my cool Wolverine tattoo.
He is. I think he's shorter than that.
Nah, because they fucking make him look like he's what's Gimli from the fucking Lord of the Rings, man.
I would have fucked Wolverine up at 5'3", bro. Are you kidding me?
Can you imagine? That's why fucking everybody used to throw him little cannonball special.
Yeah, I just threw him. Yeah, like if I was Hulk,
he's a whole.
Can you imagine? Like how the fuck is the Hulk taking the L? Like no, fuck out of here, bro. I'm like
Colossus used to throw him all the time for the fastball special.
What was that? What was that when Hulk like ripped him in half and like?
Oh, that was fucking. That was Wolverine versus Hulk.
Yeah, dude, I remember that
in the Ultimate comic books.
Yes,
and he literally separated him, dude, like from fucking one spot to another.
And threw his upper half somewhere else, and he had to like live off of his.
Yeah, Hulk knows, man.
Yeah,
straight up, man.
That was dope.
But yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool. I think that'd be a pretty fun cosplay if I can kind of make it old school accurate. I think that would be pretty fun. But for sure,
like
my Akira bike's probably going to be my winning thing. That's what I'm really going to push for. And I'm talking about wheels that roll, fiberglass, display unit that turns on and off. Like I'm gonna really go all the way, man. If my body doesn't collapse on me and just kill me, I'm gonna get this done for sure by next year.
Well, number one, stop talking like that. Your body's not gonna collapse on you, so shut the fuck up. And then number two, I'm sure that I listen. If you don't win, or I can grease some of those judges over there, and I can slip them a couple $. Listen, we can make this happen.
We're gonna make it work.
We'll make it work. Don't even worry about it.
I mean, dude, I've had the opportunity to make some amazing stuff in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But I've always kind of done it for everyone else, and I've kind of just spent a little bit of time on making something for myself. I really want the opportunity to be able to build something through and through directly, specifically for me. That's not to mention that I am going to be making other cosplays. I'm going to be helping out my best friend Christella. We're going to make her a Jane Foster Thor cosplay.
Okay.
So we're making her like straight up with the new hammer. And I might do the new Thor, like the new costume, the blue and gold.
Yeah.
Just to have it done. And I'll buy a wig and get the cool ass blonde hair and shit like that. And yeah, man, I'm really excited. I got some really cool ideas in the pipeline. I threw a really big challenge out to a bunch of cosplayers like the other day. But you look, dude, just to know like the craziness of the skill level that I got 200 likes for that for no fucking reason. For the cosplay with the helmet and challenging everybody that I was going to bring it next year. 200 likes. You look at any other cosplayer that's a male in my area, they're not even getting close to those numbers on a social media.
All right, talk your shit, kid. Like flex on them, bro.
I'm dirty, dude.
Talk
like
that shit, bro.
That heavy. And that's because what I want to do is I want to talk to the creators of the convention to see if we can add an event at the cosplay event or at the convention where it's a challenge from day 1 to day 3. You challenge whoever you want, and they have to build the first day to the last day, and you guys have to provide whatever it is that they say you build at the end of the day. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
It'd be like, yo, I, Chris, want to challenge Brian to the cosplay build off for this year's Comic-Con.
Smoke your boots. I haven't cosplayed
like, I've never cosplayed before, but I'm gonna smoke that ass. I got smoked for days.
Hell yeah.
And then we have to make it fresh without any patterns or nothing and have it done by Sunday.
So like you got like a couple days to make it.
You got like 3 days at the max.
See, you need like, all right, see, that's a little bit too much. So, like, listen, you need to have like extra garments around the house. About,
like, props or something. Okay. Like if they say like the prop that you guys are gonna make, we get into like a big ass jug, I pull it out, boom. You're gonna have to make Wanda's Darkhold. Here are some resource pictures. Let's see who's got it, and we're gonna test it at the end of the week, or at the end of the convention, which is 2 days later. And yeah, you get to fucking add some shit, and then they bring you a bunch of equipment, and you just build. I think that'd be pretty cool. I think that's a dope way to do it.
That sounds pretty dope. So you think you can pull that off, or?
Oh fuck yeah, dude! I can build anything in like an hour, dude. I'm wild as fuck when it comes to designing shit, dude. I am crazy, dude. Super nuts. But guys, straight up, what did you think about today's episode? How was your week? How's everything been going? What are your thoughts on Johnny Depp and Amber Heard? Has the trial been pretty much normal in your eyes, or is this something that's a circus like the way we all thought, and it's just they're hyping it just because television and it makes money? Are you excited for Doctor Strange 2? Do you have your ticket? Are you going to be first in line like the way us at the Average Boys are? Let us know in the comments what you guys feel. What are your expectations for the films? What are you anticipating? What cameos are you expecting to see in the film? And what are you most excited for? Let us know. And so far, what's your rating for the Moon Knight series that's on Disney Plus on Marvel? Are you liking it? Are you digging it? Are you liking the fact that it's a big psychological thriller? Or are you missing the fact that it doesn't have as much action as you anticipated? Or are you just confused? Do you not know or do you not get what the Moon Knight character is about? Let us know in the comments. Let us know how you feel. Rate the show for us and let us know. Everyone out there, to our extraordinary listeners, just want to say thank you so much for tuning in on this episode of the Average Boys podcast. We appreciate you guys so much. Guys, don't forget to check us out if you have, and if you like to listen to Spotify, Amazon, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, any other place that you know. Join with us, add us up, subscribe to us, like our stuff on there too. We have a bunch of archive shows that we have dating all the way from we have over 100 episodes and over 1,000 downloads. Yeah, we've been in this for a minute, man. We've been in this for a minute. Guys, if you can, go check us out. Share, let people know about us. All homegrown. My boy Brian's not from Texas, but he's
I have Texas ties. I got family in Texas. I used to live in Texas. So listen,
he's an honorary Texan.
Listen, man,
this homegrown.
I'm with you guys.
Elka 956.
Nah, I mean,
you're like, no, that's not that Texas. not that far Texas.
Nah, man, I'll rep it. No worries. It's all good. You know what I mean?
But yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate every one of you. To our extraordinary listeners, thank you again so much for tuning in. We'll see you again next Friday here on the podcast with the Average Boys. Guys, we appreciate you, and we'll see you guys again next Friday.
Peace.